Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 21 of Mad Max. We're doing this episode fairly early on a Saturday, but we've got a whole bunch of plans elsewhere on the internet for later in the day, so this felt like a really good time to jump in. And where last we left, it was almost mid-mission, where we spoke with Raven or whatever. Oh wait, survey crew project ready to be built. Yeah, I do think that I remember this. I never know where to go to build these projects. We're looking for a blue icon that looks like that. That's Scrap Crew, but we're looking for one of those versions. The car body Wild Hunt for the Speed Demon is ready to be installed in the garage. Okay, so we'll go do that in a second. Somebody please remind me that it just said that, because otherwise I'm going to forget. I think this is where the stairs up are. Yeah, there's part of me that says, like, so what we're doing right now is we're trying to find where do we upgrade this particular project, and I'm not sure where to go, so the only thing we can really do is sort of wander and look around. There's part of me that says, and I think I have said in the past, why not just have a single
Tell me you flushed the storm.
Desk or console someplace where you can easily access and upgrade those things. However, if they had that, you wouldn't... I don't know that I would wander around here and look at this stuff, and they put a lot of work. There were environmental artists and character designers and stuff that said, well, what would this area be like? How are we going to fill this out? So that goes back into where she is. Let me go upstairs again. So on the one hand, I'd like to be able to do this project upgrades quickly so that I can get back out on the road and do the other things. Like here, we're basically coming here to collect a reward, right? I would like to do that so that we can go on with the other aspects of the game, but at the same time, do appreciate the amount of work that they put in. And I can understand why, from a design perspective, you'd want your players to look at the world that you built. I'm also, by the way, looking hopefully a little bit outside my immediate thing. Also, let me just look here. Yeah, survey crew, return to Stronghold. I would love to do that. I am at the Stronghold. I know I just looked up here, but let me just give it once more through here. Hey, survey crew, you don't happen to be in here, do you? She's here. That's where the water thing is. All right, let's go back downstairs again. And if I don't find it promptly, we'll just go. Wait, let me do one more thing. Just move away and then come back because we have seen... No, it still says it. Hello to Caroluna. Caroluna, I hope you're having a great Saturday or have had a great Saturday. I think you're much deeper into your weekend than we are here. Oh, there it is. So this is what we were looking for, this little blue table. Now I can press A, and what these guys do for people who might be coming in to episode 21 is they're going to mark all the salvage points in this region. Or in this collection of regions, I think. Everywhere that is her territory. I don't remember whose territory. I don't remember her name, but the woman in the motorized wheelchair. Caroluna says, so far so good. So, let's garage this, and... Oh, we've got all sorts of upgrades. Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't know if we want these, because we're going to go with some sort of Archangel, but let's take a look to see what other options we have. Okay. So far, it seems to be flagging things that I already have, so that probably means that it wants me to go to an Archangel, and... It is Speed Demon that we want to build, yes? Okay, and let me just look to see what else... so we could also do the Sanguine Guardian. Is that Sanguine or Sanguine? I'm never quite sure. The Rule of War? Lord Gravel. Lord Gravel is the one I want. That looks like it's a beast. Or this. 2 parts missing. All right. Okay, but I think it is Speed Demon that we need for our mission, so...
so slender and sleek.
We're ready to go? I think so.
So exalted, so wondrous. Let us to the O-ring.
Carolina says Sanguine is his vote. Win the Speed Demon Death Run. in the middle of the storm, I assume. So now we will go here.
Say, if you're looking to gain the favor of the gods,
I don't really think this is going to be our last episode, but I think that we are pretty... I think that we're... Sorry, I'm just trying to get on that turn. We are nearing the end of the game, and I just overall have had a very, very high experience with this. I've really enjoyed Mad Max. It, along with 13 Sentinels, has proven to be somewhat longer than I was expecting going in, but that's an observation, not a complaint. Oops. I really worked hard to hit that rock. I can't tell if the storm is coming up behind us or... Oh. Wind sound cut out there for a second. So, Speed Demon has really good handling. Oh boy. I am currently on navigating by instrument only. I'm only looking at that mini-map down there. Gonna pull a hard left here. Maybe a little bit too hard. Oh, hold on. Do you think it's safe? I mean, it's clearly not safe for me to jump out, but I'm going to try it anyway. Oh, God. Yep, grab that. Was there more to it? Yes, there was. Do I need this loot? Well, you know what? Well, okay, that's not the way I wanted to start this off. And I think that just vaporized the scrap, so we'll just get back in. And there's another scrap box, scrap ledger, treasure hoard right over here. And yeah, I see one over to the left. I just saw this one first. Okay. All right, now if I can drag this over near the other one, maybe we can sort of like brace the other one with the car and get both. I mean, there's again the possibility they'll just get vaporized by lightning. Uh-oh. Nope, there it is. Okay, stop. So I'm gonna keep this one tethered. Oh, are you serious? Hold on, there's a couple guys over there chucking rocks. Look at them. Does this seem like a fight time for you, friend? Okay, let me grab this. This. I really want to do this before the lightning strikes. And... hey, there we go. Alright, now that guy has made the much wiser decision to stay over there. Oh boy, no, don't do that. I think that destroyed all the scrap. Oh no, no, it's right over here. It just knocked everything around. Okay. Get a little bit of cover from the incoming shrapnel. What I was going to say is that remember all those cars that I don't yet have the parts to build? We need scrap to unlock those parts, and for all I know, those are going to be hundreds or thousands of scrap bits, so... that's why I'm going to take an extra moment to collect them now. We can't have any sort of meaningful conversation during this amount of sound. And the storms are legitimately, like, one of the most unique parts of this game, you know? What are the things that set Mad Max apart from other open-world games? The combination of melee and vehicle combat, I think, is one of them. And outside of that, like the post-apocalypse, there are lots of games of post-apocalypse. I very much want to stop hitting rocks. I would say that gameplay mechanics like these storms that are very dangerous to be out in, but also rewarding to be out in. They did a great job of making these storms disruptive, but not annoying. I'm basically driving towards those two scrap things that you can see in the mini-map down at the bottom left. Speed Demon, not so great at off-roading. Yeah, and we're driving with the wind, like we're driving downwind, so the scrap bits that we're chasing are also getting further away as we're going, or they're continuing to move. Oh boy. Okay, stop. No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. If we go into the big nothing, we just, the game just instantly ends. So let's park here.
Get out there and fix it.
Understood.
Not gonna lie, didn't know for a very long time that you could just press up on the D-pad and Chumbucket would go fix it for you. Carolyn is saying Space Engineers also has storms. Yeah, I like the storms in Space Engineers as well. The difference is, as far as I can tell, the storms have minimal impact on anything. Like, I don't know if it gets colder or anything. I believe that when the storms come through, then solar power is less effective and wind power is more effective. And that's nice. You know, it's an incentive to have more than one type of power source. But I'm sorry, I'm concerned that I'm going to sound like I'm complaining or denigrating it. The storms in Space Engineers are a nice environmental touch. I would love to see additional ways that they factor into gameplay, because like if you're in like a flying craft, for example, I don't think the storms like buffet the ship around. It doesn't. Space Engineers doesn't do much with aerodynamics or anything, and I am generally okay with that. I'm not sure that... Oh, a history relic. I'm not sure that more complicated flight mechanics would make Space Engineers a better game. I do also know that there are mods that will do that if that's something that people want. But what I like about this game is how well integrated the storms are with the gameplay. Like, hey, the players are going to want scrap. You know, we're going to do this. It helps us set the setting that, like, oh, this is, like, you want to know why it's an apocalypse? Look what happens every once in a while. Every 4 days, like, the world is just overrun by this horrible electrical nightmare. But, by the way, so that the player is not, you know, if done wrong, that could really be irritating. Like, oh, okay, I guess I just have to go back to base now and wait for it to go past. One example, and I like the game a whole bunch, but Breath of the Wild, when it starts raining in that game and you can't climb where you want to climb because it gets too slippery, it's like, oh, I guess I just have to wait for this to be over. Okay, somebody practicing with a bow. Learning basic survival skills seems a bit silly, I know. But I would rather be safe than sorry. Hopefully the end of the world will not arrive for a while, because I can't hit shit right now. Other than that time I put an arrow into Scotty's knee. Sorry, buddy. Oh, he doesn't get to be an adventurer anymore.
An arrow or a bullet will become second nature soon.
And Carolyn is saying that lightning can damage stuff. Okay, so my overwhelming experience in Space Engineers was in the Arctic, because that's just where I landed in my... Oh, hold on. In my little survival thing, and in the Arctic, there was a lot of wind and it limited visibility, which is an important gameplay mechanic. Like, hey, you can't see very well. It's much easier to crash. It's much easier to overshoot. It's much easier to hit a mountain, something like that, like a hillside, because you can't see it coming. And I do appreciate those things. But there was no lightning ever. So I did not know there was lightning in the game. I assume that that happens in the more temperate regions, or maybe on Mars. Do they have sufficient, like, electrical buildup? An electrical imbalance between the ground and the sky? That's what causes lightning strikes. Kira Luna says that the lightning strikes may or may not... Yeah, maybe they were patched in. Maybe they happen in all zones now. I did get to see some of Caroluna playing on Mars. or the Martian-like landscape, we'll just call it Mars, in Space Engineers, and I thought it was very cool. Okay, so we're going to do a death race. I doubt I'll be able to talk very much as we do it, and this is actually a story mission. And yes, I know that we can win Griffa tokens. I also know that we are well past the need for Griffa tokens. We've upgraded everything that can be upgraded by Griffa.
Oh, steady now. That machine looks bona fide. Be welcome. My tracks have been so quiet of late. Come stir the dust. Come bring the hate.
Sorry, that was me, A, listening to his dialogue, B, muting for a second because I needed to cough, and C, Carolina was saying, I had a lightning strike, damaged my wind turbine tower on Mars, not serious, but the tower was lower. So, yeah, it'd be interesting to know, because I do know that Space Engineers has certain things, like the higher the wind turbine is above the terrain, the more wind it can generate. I also know that having too many wind towers near each other will diminish the return because they are sort of obscuring one another. And I don't know to what extent that matters. Like, I don't know if it's enough to offset just put 9 wind turbines here. But there is sort of like oh, this is very close to another wind turbine, so forth. Sorry, do I just do barrel bash? Yeah, no, that's the one with the green dot. I see it now. And yes, please, speed demon. Carolyn is saying, yes, it does matter. Like, the fall off is significant for the wind power. I should note, but before we... Hold on. Okay, before we go, I just wanted to say, literally everything I know about Space Engineers has either come from watching Caroluna or from Splitsy's really, really good adventure and tutorial series on YouTube. If anybody here is interested in anything that we've been talking about, SPLITSIE, Split-C, S-I-E there at the end. Just a fantastic tutorial series, particularly for the survival mode. Even though it's a few years old, it holds up very well, and I learned a lot. Like it's a great primer to get you started in Space Engineers, so that then you can start learning things on your own. So, just a word of the wise on that. Okay. Yep. Okay. So, number 1, for me, I gotta remember this, follow the red road. I have a nasty tendency to start going elsewhere. This car is very prone to spinouts, is one of the things that I'm learning. I don't know why I'd want to be in front at this point. Slow down, bash a barrel. Okay. I think my non-automotive, very casual thought is the engine on this car is a little bit overpowered for its weight, so that makes it more prone to like oh wait, that's not the end, is it? Nope, it's just more barrels. Okay, just follow the red road. Okay. So it's like, if you're going in a straight line, you get a lot of acceleration and a high top speed. If you are trying to turn and the engine is sort of revving, the tires are prone towards losing traction, and you wind up sort of like spinning out. That's what it feels like to me. Also, I sort of want to shoot some of those things. Oh, I would love to stop for that. In Just Cause 2, like, there would be races where you would see something off-road, and you could actually stop, get out of your car, blow it up or deal with it, get back in the car, and proceed to race and win, by the way. I love the races in Just Cause 2 so much because they were so clearly like, nah, don't worry about it. It's fine. These are not here to be challenging for you. By comparison, in a recent stream, we were talking about Red Faction Guerrilla and speaking very highly of it. That game has some brutal races if you want to get the gold medal on it. Well, I hope this is the end. Oh, and I got an achievement. Okay. Yep, I got a Griffith token. I will show it to my children because they are the only ones who will care. No. No, because I was just piloting a different, it's very nice of the game to ask.
Right, run! Our deal with Crow Dazzle is honored. Let's go recruit our fighter. Saint, get into the gas town race.
Okay, recruit Tenderloin. We can do that. But before we go, like, is there anything, like, I passed a thing that I wanted to go back and get? And I also want to do the minefields. I don't know, like, there's not a lot of logic between the things that I am interested in doing and not. The minefields aren't, like, the most, it's not like a challenging puzzle. I guess I just like hanging out with the dog every once in a while. And Cara Luna is agreeing about Splitsy, that Splitsy does really, and like, I think I mentioned this once before, but when I got really into Space Engineers, I tweeted at him, I included him in a comment about, like, when I first started Space Engineers, I thought this game is too complicated, I don't really get it, this game is not going to be for me. And then after I watched some of his tutorials, this is absolutely true, I wound up, like, getting really into it and, like, building my own designs. And I just, like, said on Twitter, hey, if you're in a similar position, like, watch these tutorials by Splitsy. And he tweeted back and said, I'm really glad that you like them, which is just, I don't know. I thought it was nice of him to say that he appreciated the kind words, because he's, like, a super popular guy, like in the world of space engineers. In other words, I suspect that a lot of people tweet at him or ask him questions, and he still found the time to... I can't see who's... Sorry, the camera isn't great in this area. Oh! Okay. I would like to know at what point I broke my counter there, because I feel like shotgunning 3 people is a valid combo move. I have a very, very bad habit on the internet of reading something and then not responding promptly. First of all, because you wouldn't necessarily know it from when we're streaming, and we just sort of take a very relaxed approach to, you know, we don't do speed runs, in other words. But when not streaming, we're just running around all the time. It's so busy, and it's so difficult to get back to people in a timely fashion. And also, like, a lot of times when if Splitsy hadn't said anything, I wouldn't have thought anything of it. Like, I sort of would have assumed that he saw the comment and either didn't care, or saw the comment was like, oh, that's nice, and then went on with his day. You know, I would have been fine with it either way. And I sort of think to myself that a lot of people are like that, whereas some people really, like, it is important for them to hear the, like, hey, thanks, I really appreciate that. And it, honest to God, it is just a function of, I think to myself, okay, I'll get back to that tonight, or okay, first thing tomorrow morning, and then other things come up, and it's tough to be as responsive as you would like to be when, you know, you have maybe sometimes people reaching out, but we do our best. We really do. Was that it? Awesome. Can I... Yeah. If there's one thing about this game, maybe like 20% more parkour. I would love it if Mad Max could mantle through open windows, climb over like small, like waist-high obstructions. That would all be nice. Carolina says that there's other space engineers creators that he likes to watch, but they don't have tutorials like Splitsy does. Saw the comments and thought, oh good, another one. Like, is that of Splitsy or of in general? Oh, and Carolina, I will just mention in passing, and then we won't, you know, go on from here. But there is a watch party today in Mia's Discord. She's doing a Me-October. Okay, sure. Event with some spooky movies. My sense is that you don't enjoy watching movies, like that's not your preferred art form. But if you were interested, you are more than welcome. And I only bring it up so that you have the information that it's happening. One of Mia's watch parties, almost a full year ago at this point, was for some Christmas entertainment, and I just didn't know it was happening. I 100% would have been there and didn't know that it was occurring. So I just like people to have the information if they are interested. Okay, so this area is still like bright red. Yeah, look at how many things I haven't done in here. So, why not start by going to the Vantage Outpost? Hey, everybody, remember the balloon site where I was completely stumped on how to get up to the balloon, and it turned out that all I had to do was shimmy against the wall? Believe me, I have not forgotten that. I was like, I've had this conversation with Mia. I have reminded myself many occasions. I've had this conversation with Mia. I've talked with my producer. I've talked with my friend HW. I've talked with like other friends who don't often come up. No matter how dumb it seems, try the obvious thing first. Don't rule it out. Give it a shot. See if it works out. And it was just a case of I completely boned it. It just didn't occur to me, oh, that little beam I can shimmy across, because although, okay, I don't know what Chumbucket is saying right now. And now I've lost what I was saying. Something about, oh, hold on. Wow, now I've even lost the topic that I was on. I really got distracted by that sniper. I was like, oh, I don't want to get sniped.
Don't leave us here. We'll all be scrapified.
Okay. One thing that I've sort of lightly figured out, and I can't swear to it. Okay. I can't swear to it, is, I think that the counter, when you're supposed to press Y, I think it's directional. I think that the game expects you to press the left stick in the direction of the counter, and that's fine. It's just, I think that every once in a while, that's why I'm pressing Y and it doesn't fire, because I'm actually pressing Y in a different direction or not pressing Y in that direction. It's subtle. It doesn't always seem to apply, but I have found that the counter is more reliable if I'm pressing Y in the direction of the incoming attack, and that sort of like turns max properly. Again, it's not 100%, so I could be wrong on this. Long, loving hands. Joy and peace upon you all. Our life with our little miracle will be one of travel, love, good food, and adventure. And what the hell does that last line say? And oh, did I mention love? You know what brought me to that? The second to last word there. I was like, Minum, Minarum. Oh, mention, and then did was more apparent. Let's go to captions. Did I mention love? Yeah.
Love didn't conquer all after all.
Okay, Mad Max. Womp womp. Every game's completely bones it sometimes, some more often than others. Oh, gamer. Yes. Yeah, no, I would... you will notice that every single stream that we do here carries, like I don't care what the game is, will carry the marker of casual playthrough, because the people who are good are really good, and I don't ever want to be confused as someone who has that level of facility with the game. So I do like the fact that there's a little bridge here. Like, remember that sniper that we yeeted over there? Yeah, this is how he got up here. I like it when games stop for a moment to think like, wait, let's explain how that character got there. And there's been a couple things in Mad Max where it's like, I don't know how that character got up there. I don't know, like, how to go loot that body, go get that guy. Yeah, let's head on down the road here. The next time that we're at a garage, I am going to reconfigure Speed Demon. It's just, I like spending a little bit of time with the different types of cars. We're not going to drive every car in this game, and we're not going to spend a lot of time with the different cars that we do drive. So if the game's going to say, hey, drive Speed Demon for a little while, I want to do that. It's not that I don't like Speed Demon, it's just I don't like it as much as the whatever Archangel we were using before. Oh, really? Yep, no, see, this is the kind of barrier that Mad Max, he just can't turn his hips sideways. There's no way past this for him. So we're gonna have to ram our way through. I do like the body, the shiny body. That looks really good. Okay, well, whatever. I thought it would break, but... And then, by the way, there's also the counters that I flub because I wait too long in the attempt to get a perfect counter. The perfect counter occurs when you hit Y at the, like, basically the last possible moment. And I usually try to do that because that's how you get an instant kill on somebody. That's how you can, like, disarm them better. And you like your score multiplier goes up. So sometimes I just don't get the timing on that. And that's straight up me. Okay, just get out of the way, door. Okay, I don't need that food, not yet.
What luck! A stray puppet!
I wonder what their last... This is a super weird question, but I wonder what their last thought is. Like, these guys, like, oh man, I'm gonna get him in just a second. And then their neck snaps, and it's just like this blackout consciousness they go into, you know, and then subsequently die. Or is there a moment of revelation of like, oh man, I probably shouldn't have been screaming, ah, blah, blah, at him as he was coming up the stairs. Maybe, like, hidden behind this tarp and then tried to stab him. Or lived my life somewhat differently. Oh boy, this is a big place. All right, well, let me see what's over here first. Our actual goal here is balloon. If I find other stuff on the way, that's nice. Yeah, I don't see anything for us up here, so I'm gonna go across that bridge, and that's where the balloon is. So, Carolina, let me ask you a question if you're near the keyboard. I like to allow people to lurk, but I do also really enjoy hearing from them. Are there any games coming out this fall that you're really interested in? Like, is there something like... And I think that we can probably take Farming Simulator 22? I always forget if it's 21 or 22. I think it's 22. I think we can take that as a given. Like I know that you're... I'm curious if there's anything else that you're like... Oh man, this game looks great. I can't wait to see somebody stream it, or I'm gonna buy it day one. Is there anything like that for you? Because I don't actually know that many things that are coming out this year. I don't know at what point I got disconnected from that. Also, I don't know how to bring this balloon down. I'm sort of looking, what you saw me doing here was looking at these wires going down, and I assume that I need to follow them lower than this. I'm just trying to see exactly where they go. They're spooled up here, and then they go... No, they go over here. Okay. So I'm following the wires. See how they're like strung underneath the bridge? And then they go down here. Okay. So, yeah. So we'll zip line down and then go over to that structure. Farm Sim 22 in November, says Caroluna. Otherwise, I look at games as I notice them somewhere. Yeah, like I had never heard of Kena Bridge of Spirits until... Hi, do you want to... There we go. Nope. There we go. I'd never heard of Kena Bridge of Spirits until Patikin mentioned it. And, like, honest to God, Patikin being like, oh, yeah, Kena Bridge of Spirits, like, what are you... I don't mean this in, like, a derisive way. Like, what? What game are you talking about? I've never heard of this game. And then it's like, oh, yeah, it's coming out. It's like $40 or whatever. So, oh, interact. Yep, here it is. Refuel the generator. All right, so now we need some fuel. Not unexpected, but I figured that we'd figure out where to go. I'm just going to take it out of the car. Because we're going to go back. We're going to get refueled here. Caroluna saw some of that the other day, and it looks beautiful. Yeah, Kena Bridge of Spirits, like, look for that in a future playthrough. I'm not really expecting it to occur super soon. But I love it when a game that everybody else is looking forward to comes out, and then I discover it for the first time, because it removes all the anticipation. And I'm like, oh, look, something good is coming out. That's how it was for Batman Arkham Asylum. I think I might have heard about that game coming out, but there'd never been a good... Like, Batman was famously, like, a terrible video game property. Every Batman game was, like... Wait, now how do I bring it down? Oh, did I need to press the button on the thing? Whoops. So, even if I had heard of Arkham Asylum much before release, I wasn't paying... It was coming out, it was being produced or developed by Rocksteady. Who were they? I've never even heard of that company. So, here's a famously bad intellectual property from an unknown developer. Why would I pay any attention to it? And then I remember that, like, a week before it came out... Oh, here's some... Is this... Oh, no, that's empty. That's the one that is empty. Okay, can I... Okay. So I've refueled it. How do I... And I just want to acknowledge for everybody who might be watching this now or in the future and thinking, my God, you dummy, it's so obvious how to interact with the balloons. It isn't... Like, there's... Sometimes you refuel it on the balloon itself. Sometimes you refuel it at that generator thing. Sometimes there's, like, a yellow panel near the balloon that you can use to retract it. And other times there isn't. Like, maybe that's what I'm missing, and I just need to find that sort of, like, switch panel.
Most infidels fail to recognize the sacred parts of the great...
Okay, let me just make sure that there's nothing... No direct way to interact with this winch. Nope. Okay, so again, let's follow the yellow wire back. And then the yellow wire goes... Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is it. There we go. Yeah, I don't mind a bit of puzzle solving. I'm a little bit self-conscious about the fact that this is episode 21, and every single balloon is still like, okay, what am I supposed to do? What is the... What is the intended goal here, besides get into the balloon? Oh, I think we got the interface in there. There we go.
Inco's tower. Slow in one pace.
Okay, this is as zoomed out as it gets. Get that, and that. That doesn't get marked, apparently. Oh, you know what? The other day, we had a very fun and clippable stream moment, and I enjoyed it a bunch, but because it sort of came up in the middle of a thought, I never got a chance to finish the thought. I just wanted to acknowledge that we talk a lot about voice acting and performances. Voice acting, motion capture, people that work on games that fall outside like the main development, like the core development team of programmers and stuff, because there's so many people of so many different professions and specialties that go into building a game that I'd like to find opportunities to call more of them out. And what I was starting to say that day was close binoculars. Okay, let's go down. What I was trying to say that day is that I don't just like slather lavish praise on any game that has voice acting, and Mad Max is an example of a game that has good voice acting. Like it's fine. I don't want to like be damning with faint praise, but it's like, okay, Mad Max is very grim, and the enemies are very crazy, and the NPCs are very flamboyant in a way that will like they're very larger than life, and that's all fine, and I appreciate that. By comparison, well, let me just see if I can get backed out of here. By comparison, like the other game that we've been playing, 13 Sentinels, which I'm going to be very careful against saying anything spoilery about that. 13 Sentinels, the entire voice cast is so good. Like, whatever misgivings I have about some of the character designs, whatever issues that I might want to bring up about the some of the writing choices, and not many, but some of the writing choices, the voice acting is on point. It is really, really well done. Oh, not on top of the car, though. Okay. I don't care about the scrap. I just didn't want to get got by the falling tower. Carolina is saying that the voice acting in Farm Sim is awful. Welcome, farmers, and welcome. I'm envisioning what it would be like if it existed as well, at all. Welcome to Farming Sim 22. In Farming Sim 22, you'll have the opportunity to live out your fantasies of farming a large agricultural field with new features such as seasons and pigs. Let's get started. Okay. Yes, get it. Oh, there's a sniper there as well. Pull down the tower. Tower. Oh God, now so I've done that thing where now I'm inside my own head and just writing dialogue for the Farming Sim 22 tutorial, which I've never played, so I have to switch topics because otherwise that'll be the rest of the stream. Kiraluna is confirming though that seasons are new, pigs are not. Are pigs in the game at all though? I know that there are cows in the game because that's what Caroluna has a lot of. No, sorry, Samalander has a lot of. You are Caroluna. But I don't know if... Oh, yeah, see, there was some scrap here. It's not a lot, but it's worth getting out for. You know, would you pick up a couple quarters if you saw them on the ground? I would. I mean, I guess if I was in Japan, I wouldn't. That was one of the things that we learned in playing 13 Sentinels, that I guess picking up money that is just on the ground, if it's not already established to be yours, like that's a cultural taboo. I don't know to what extent. I'm only going based on events in the game and then what we learned about it. Yeah, let's go over here. But I would. You know, that's a good way to think of, like, well, I don't know about a good way. It's sometimes the way that I think about it in games. Even if that item or whatever, even if it doesn't immediately feel like, oh, that herb or whatever that I know I'm gonna have to watch a little like crouching animation to go get. Isn't that valuable? But would you pick up like, I don't know, like 4 quarters, you just saw them on the ground. Like here's $1. Sure, I mean I would. Why wouldn't I? Unless it belonged to somebody. Then I'd make them pick it up themselves. I wouldn't help them retrieve it. Oh yeah, I think we need a new gas can for the car. I almost completely forgot about this, but please, yeah. Store. Pigs do exist in Farming Sim 19, says Cara Luna. In vanilla, seasons are a mod in Farming Sim 19, but they will just be included in Farming Sim 22, just as part of the actual game design. Oh, look at these two. So again, as I tend to ask, I assume that these are either members of the development team or friends of somebody high up in the development team, and they have like what is so clearly a wedding picture. Like that's awesome. I love that. This was at Jalen and Evan's wedding. Remember, honey, before you got shit-faced and ruined the cake and got beaten up by Jalen's brother? Good times. Boy, what a shitty passive-aggressive thing to write. Like, whoever is getting called out here, it sounds like they acted really inappropriately, but thanks so much for writing it down on the back of this postcard. So anytime I want to look at this picture, I can be reminded.
I did this once. Didn't I?
Oh, wait, there's a wasteland encounter over here. This is actually why I came here, now that I think about it. Oops.
Ah, cack. Slay me if you wish, I don't care. We'll all die here. That stanky gummo, he got kill fever. Lord Scrotus, his big sodomaster, has given him orders to corpse this land up. We've got precious little time. Wanna split this loot with me?
Sir, you can actually just keep the loot. Like, I'm fine. That is one critique. It's always a little bit of a bummer to me when a game like this, like Mad Max is a game about limited resources, right? And there's times when that really comes into play. Like, you don't, like, I've run out of ammunition. I've been very low on fuel on at least a couple occasions and needed to go reroute to get some more before I run out. I like those aspects of the game, but like on the topic of scrap specifically, from pretty early in the game, I had as much scrap as I felt like, I've always generally had enough scrap to do whatever I wanted. And right now I'm sitting on a trove of, 18,000 scrap, 19,000 scrap? I think it says, yeah, 19,000, almost 20,000 scrap. It's a little bit of a bummer, and it's not much. I'm not really complaining, but where the premise of the game is undermined by the mechanics of the game. Another good example of this is and this happens in a lot of Rockstar games, like the Grand Theft Autos and the There's Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, and I can't speak to their other things, but there's a lot of points where, like, the story, as part of the fundamental part of the story, the character's like, oh man, we need some money. Oh, if only we had the funds, then we could finally do the thing that, break away, succeed, run away, survive, pull off this heist, whatever it is. And, like, if you've been even generally trying to play the game as presented, you're sitting here with, like, $200,000. It's like, hey, I can literally bankroll this out of my pocket right now in cash. What do you want to do? And the issue is, I don't have a solution for it, because the alternative is to make resources so scarce that the player is then feeling frustrated that they have to grind. Like, oh, we don't want to make players grind because that's like a dirty word. But I've played games like that. Like, oh boy, if I want to do this thing, I'm gonna have to play it for like 20 hours. So it's finding a good balancing act, or finding a way to write your story in a way where you understand that the players might have more resources than the character would intend to, and finding a way to make that work. I don't know. Like I said, it is not a super crisis or anything. Let me just get that guy. Hey, no hitchers. You get down. Chumbucky, can you just drag that guy off? The dead tend to loosen their bowels, and I don't want that in my car. Oh, I went to do Shift Punisher. I didn't see the incoming attack.
Come here. It's manifesting in my face. Look at you. I was a jerk.
Oh! Sorry! I didn't realize that the guy I was with was already dead. Hey, what are you up to? Oh man, you missed the whole fight. Oh, he survived my pile driver thing. That's not a pile driver. What is it? Is it a body slam? When you pick somebody up and drop them on their head, what is that? Because not a pile driver, and a body slam feels insufficiently specific for what that is. Oh, hello. All right, so it looks like the actual objective is a bit further in, but let's get this. I'm assuming that fire is not good to walk through, so we'll just take care of it from a distance. Also, I mean, I do have to express some appreciation for the developers of this game that, hey, make dozens of locales that can only be built out of, rusted chain link fences, collapsed rocks, metal lattice works, old shipping containers, rusted out cars, and fire. And find a way to make these locales feel distinct from one another. And not, they don't always succeed, but you can see all the ways in which they tried. There's a lot more attention lavished onto certain areas as opposed to others. They gave it their all. And I've seen games where outposts are just like carbon copied stamped from one to another. The first Mass Effect really comes to mind with like their one or two prefab buildings that you'll find out in the world every once in a while. Like, believe me, that was a bummer. Oop. When that game came out, I was like, oh, this little, like, trailer structure again. And, yeah, prefab buildings make sense in the setting of, like, space colonization and so forth. Like, yeah, you probably have a few templates. But from a game design standpoint, it's like, oh, I just want everybody to know I tried to shield chatter, but because he was up on the box, it wouldn't line up properly. All right. I wanted to shield chatter. I like that little animation. Okay. The making a lot of noise as you're getting up out of your hidey hole. That was that man's downfall. Oh! That second guy got me, though. Yeah, I just really like it when it says perfect parry on the top right. Makes me feel good every time. Okay, I'm out of shivs. We'll have to see if he stops by later. Alright, so I've blown open this door. Got some maggots that I can eat. Oh, and this goes deeper in, and it looks like there's a boss fight in there. So before I go in, forgive me because I don't remember if I've checked up here. I have not, because I haven't been in here. And what a treasure trove we've uncovered. Yeah, for me, voice acting is at its most impressive when it is lending character and personality to, like in the case of 13 Sentinels, 2D artwork. Like, in Persona 3, you are interacting with characters that are alternately models that are made up of like a dozen or, you know, a couple dozen polygons. I don't want to be too low, but I mean, they're very, very blocky character models with a limited range of animations. And then the 2D artwork, basically the concept art that shows you in your mind's eye what this character is supposed to look like. And the characters in Persona 3 are as real to me as some people that I've known in the real world. They like it works so well, and all of that is in the writing and the voice acting. Here, when we're done, how many character traits will we be able to apply to Mad Max? His voice acting is fine, but the writing doesn't give the voice actor anything really to do with him. He's just sort of grim and dour and oh! Okay, let me, I have no explanation for why that guy was allowed to hit me twice. Okay, I'm gonna wait for him to do his whole, like, throw off balance. There we go. No! Alright, hold on. I said hold on, damn it. Oh, that had to count for something, though. Okay, can I borrow this for a second? Because he doesn't seem to like getting sledgehammered. Oh, knock him into the flame. Yeah, keep hitting him.
Pain is coming. Get in line, Stinky. I'll slay away instead.
You thought I forgot that I had that, huh? And then just immediately took it right in the chest. All right, come on. Oh, Max keeps trying to reload his shotgun, and I keep running around. There you go. Hold on. All right, I will stop animating so that you can do that. In Darkest Dungeon, Wayne June is the game. Yes! Yes. So, I imagine that every single person knows what that means. But just in case someone is not yet familiar with the game that Caroluna is mentioning, Darkest Dungeon is a game with some evocative 2D artwork and, like a lot of, I don't even know how to enter this sentence. And then the voice work of a character. Like, I wouldn't have known his name offhand, but Caroluna's identifying him as Wayne June. Yes, which is basically like I don't want this to sound like a slam on the game, but the artwork in that game does 20% of the work, and he's the other 80 in terms of setting the tone in that game. It is a tour de force performance that makes Darkest Dungeon, like, he is the thing that makes Darkest Dungeon as well, okay, let's not sell the writing short, because like he is delivering lines that are, I assume, written by others, and it is very effective. But yeah, Darkest Dungeon is a great example of a game where if you stripped away the veneer, the style, the sense of overwhelming, crushing despair that game sews into you, stitches into you like a Frankenstein corpse rehabilitation. If you strip all that away and are just left with the game mechanics, I did not enjoy the game part of Darkest Dungeon really much at all. But it is absolutely worth experiencing for all of the other things that it does right. And I have all of my fingers and toes crossed that when the sequel comes out, I think it's pretty soon. I don't think it's super soon, but I think I think we have a release date, and I just don't happen to know what it is, that they are able to elevate the game mechanics to match the style that they mastered so well. Okay, we have some people who may or may not be real humans looking at a bunch of glowing jars. These wakes are getting too damn common. There's like a shooting or a fucking massacre every week now, and it's not the gangs either. The MPs are doing their fair bit of shooting too, and they've got the big guns. Marie, I'm telling you, we gotta leave your father behind. Whoa, and just get the hell out of Dodge. Now, if Marie's father was...
They never were good guys or bad guys.
Yeah, just humans. The whole species is completely rotten down to its core. Mid-mix. If Marie's father was refusing to leave and Marie was faced with the option, like, you can't get him to come with you, but if Marie's father was not as mobile, like maybe had some other medical concerns, and whoever wrote that was like, fuck it, just leave him behind, he's not worth it. That's sort of, for whatever reason, my initial thought on that. Carolina loves Darkest Dungeon, but it can be very punishing. Yeah, it is the punishment aspect of it that I didn't enjoy as much. Which is, I mean, that's... I feel like that very much plays into the tone, but here's the thing about Darkest Dungeon. The cost of failure, the cost of, having a total party kill where you would lose some of your highest level and most capable team members was so hard to recover from. Like, you could, I don't know that there's such a thing as a failure spiral in Darkest Dungeon like there can theoretically be in XCOM or XCOM 2, but I personally don't feel like there's a way to play Darkest Dungeon for the first or second or third time that doesn't involve, oh, cool, there we go, I just lost all of my high-level guys, and now I'm not actually starting over from the beginning because I still have all of the upgrades that I've applied to my town, but it's just going to be like a 15 or 20 hour grind of going through content I've already seen to level up this new crew of guys so that they can attempt the thing that just party killed me. And like maybe there's people at it that are better or more patient or more understanding of the game mechanics so that they don't encounter that. But I did that a couple times, like, okay, I don't think this is for me. All right, there's no way for me to do this that doesn't involve with Mad Max. Do this from maximum range. So, let's take a 5-second tour to see if I can identify where the missing insignia or scrap was, and then I will go, because I'm not super married to this. Is not a 100% playthrough. It never has been. Caroluna, by the way, is also saying you will have some of those party wipes. It's just, yeah, it feels like it's part of the core game mechanic. And as with so many things that we discuss, I'm glad that that exists for the people that want to do that. But for me, it's like, wait, I've already gone through this. Like I've beaten this section of the game, and now I'm getting hurled back because now I have to go through all of this again. How did I miss this? You know, I guess at its simplest form, I enjoy overcoming a challenge in a game. I don't enjoy it much if I have to repeatedly overcome the same challenge in the same playthrough because I didn't know what to expect, got myself into a situation where I was just ill-equipped to continue, and then it's like, oh, okay, now you get to just start over, do the whole thing again. Yeah, I don't know where the insignia is. I am moments from just fast traveling out of here. I'm going to take a quick look for any like bright glowing red stuff. The art design in this game makes some smart decisions. One of them is the insignias that you're looking for tend to cast a bright red glow that you can see from the correct angle, but for quite a distance. All right. I don't remember if I need to refuel the car, so we might as well grab this. FTL is even worse there, by the way. That doesn't even have multiple saves, I think, and I still love that game. So here's the thing with FTL. As far as I know, the average run through FTL is like 20 or 30 minutes. Like maybe I'm wrong, but like even if I'm wrong on the number, like the exact minute count, the thing about FTL is it's just a shorter game. You know, it's more of a roguelike in that you can make it far, die, fail or whatever, and then I'm going to try to shake this scrap off the car. That's where the man died.
Just go.
But you're only losing like a comparatively short amount of your life to that lost progress. You're not losing hours and hours and hours, and that's my sense of like from what I played of what's it called? Darkest Dungeon. That's where it went from being a setback to being a punishment, to being a grind. If there was one adjustment, like so I'm going to now describe mechanics that I am not particularly familiar with in Darkest Dungeon. I'll also say that to the best of my knowledge, nothing that I'm saying here is a spoiler in any way, shape, or form. It's not a strategy hint. It's just directly describing the way the game functions. There's different like sort of tiers of dungeon, and some of them require your characters to be above a certain level in order to go in and have any hope of surviving. And then, and this is what we're talking about now, some of them require your characters to be below a certain level.
Very highly protected.
He's got us in his
In other
sights.
words, if you, like, there are dungeons where, like, your characters can be levels 1, 2, 3, or 4, but if you're level 4, sorry, if you go up to level 5, or maybe it's 6 or whatever, then your characters will refuse to go into that dungeon because now it is too low level, it's beneath them. And so as a result, if you get a team party kill, but maybe you still have like a couple high-level characters that are left, you can't easily use them to power level up the newbies to have them come in. You know, let's breeze through this dungeon and bring the newbies up more quickly, because your high-level characters sort of sneer and say, oh, I'm not going to do that. So as a result, you then have to recruit a whole new team of newbies to go through that content, and there's no way to fast track it. There's no way to help speed level them outside of whatever upgrades or items that you can get for them in town, but even then you have to save up money and resources. If the only change that was made to Darkest Dungeon 2 is they got rid of that upper level requirement so that, you know, high level characters could be used to fast track the re-leveling up, the recovery of newbie characters, I feel like that would go a long way towards making the game feel less punishing. Alternatively, if there was some sort of upgrade that you could get that would allow you to recruit characters at level 5. Like, oh, okay, you have unlocked level 15 characters. Like you've gotten some characters up to level 15. So now we're going to unlock this new upgrade that allows you to start your characters, to recruit them right up front from level 5 or level 10 even. So that, yeah, you still have to level them up, but at least you don't have to start from the beginning. Okay, we need to fast track this, because when the camp is alerted, these towers get way more dangerous. Hold on. And as I'm sort of driving around, because I haven't seen what Cara Luna said about this, that may be something that is actually already in the game at some point. That may be something that can be easily modded into the game, and that's sort of an accepted way to do it. I don't know. I'm not Mr. Darkest Dungeon, but it's just me noting that there are a few ways that I can imagine that would make the game still challenging, but not as like, oh, you're basically starting over. Like, you're not starting completely over. You're starting on first base instead of like where you were on third base, but still, now you've got to, you know, clear a whole bunch of stuff again. All right, hold on, let me just get turned around here so that we can hold her steady. All right, let me see what, Darkest Dungeon is a grind, and I know that's why many people get enough of it and stop playing it. Well, I think it's a thing. It's easier to get low-level characters than high-level ones, though. Level 6 is max? Okay, yeah, see, like I said, I might be off on the numbers, but I didn't take to Darkest Dungeon as much as I would have hoped. And I wound up watching some reviews that sort of discussed a lot of this same stuff of like, what's up with Darkest Dungeon? Like, why is it the way that it is? And what could potentially be done to adjust it? And these were some of the points that person made. But I may be off on the numbers. And also, if I could remember the name of like whatever person that I watched about this, I would certainly share it, but this was years ago at this point. This is all to say, and then maybe I'll move on so I'm not getting myself in trouble by saying wrong things about Darkest Dungeon. Wow, 6 is the max? I thought there were more numbers just because that's how it sort of like, but I fully believe Cara Luna on this. Speed Demon does not eat a lot of fuel, especially if I'm not flamethrowing anybody. All of this is to say, I feel like there are some recognizable ways to make Darkest Dungeon 2 a better and more balanced experience overall. And I'm optimistic that they're going to make some adjustments in response to feedback from the game. Oh, Okay! Sorry, he might have gotten his kick off, but I also should have hit him with the shotgun.
You're not dead. Get up. Ladder me, brother. You're desperate.
Oh, god damn it. I need to time my shotgun blast a lot better. Because that was, I believe, just twice. But both times that I did it, I just took unnecessary hits for doing it. Alright, I see an explosive. Oh, I didn't see this rack here before. Killen says that it's not in the game vanilla, at least. If I recall correctly, as you go on in the game, you also level up the different dungeons. Party wipes later in the game when dungeons are higher levels really suck. Yeah. That's... And again, for everything I'm saying, if you were watching this again now or in the future and thinking like, boy, this guy, he just doesn't get it. You know, we wanted a really hard game, and that's what brings Darkest Dungeon to life. Understood. And I'm not demanding that that the original game be overhauled. What I am doing, hopefully, is giving some feedback on where the game wore thin from an early point for me, because I felt there was so much incentive to play conservatively that at a point I realized that the most conservative way to play was to just stop playing at all. You know, it's like, boy, the going in, you know, doing one of these longer expeditions with more torches or whatever, it's going to take longer. The stress on me is going to be higher. If I lose these party members that I've been leveling up, the setback to it is going to be extreme. I'm not sure that I'm having fun with this. So it became a matter of like sort of moving on. And yeah, like I said, there's ways to... Okay, this is a shotgun shell. I can't... There's ways to adjust it in a way that I think will thread the needle a little bit more efficiently. And that's all. Carolina says, now thinking of it, later in the game, maybe you don't necessarily start at level 0. I seem to remember that I've seen higher levels in the recruitment page now that I think about it. It's been too long since I played. I'm no means an expert at all. Not sure if it's a real thing or just wishful thing. Yeah, well, Carolina, I have a vague memory of something like that as well. Like, you know, have the ability to recruit characters at a slightly higher level, but I don't remember, and I could be wrong. It can be a very frustrating experience. It is, in my mind, very similar to the should From Software games have difficulty levels. Bloodborne, Demon Souls, Dark Souls. Should there be ways to play that game that aren't as tightly catered to this game is going to be brutally difficult and you either get good or don't play at all. Same thing for Cuphead. And it's like, well... For me, I just choose not to play those games. I'm glad that they exist for the people that are, but knowing that their reputation is, here's a game that's extremely difficult, you're gonna have to like die 20, 30, 40, 50 times in order to make this forward progress. I look at that feedback and say like, okay, I'm glad that there's some people that take a lot of personal pride out of getting better at that, that's good. You know, congratulations. But for me, it's like I could spend those 40, 50, 60 deaths on a game that I'm just bad at, but otherwise enjoy. Like, it's not, it doesn't have that reputation for that being a necessary part of the experience. And if the creators of From Software and the fans are fine with that, like, hey, we're going to be sacrificing some of our market appeal to have this very specifically tailored experience for this crew of people. Like, if they're good with that, so am I. Like, I'm not mad at From Software for making the games that they do, or the fan base for, well, I'm a little bit mad at the fan base when they get, like, very militant about it. Like, no, you know, like, who are you defending against? Like, if you want to play a From Software game on a hard mode, and that's now a selectable... Oh, hold on.
Getting ready for this. Your scowl will dangle proudly from my war wagon.
And hello to Azaric. Oh, look at this man's gold. I really like that. It's very shiny, specular highlighting. Oh, I should deal with the dude up here.
I need to split you open.
Okay. So I am not getting the rhythm of this fight so far. Oh, not into the fire! Yeah, Azaric, I hope you're having a great Saturday. I mentioned to Cara Luna a little bit ago, but there is going to be a big event on Discord. I assume that's starting around noon. I can't swear to it. Wow, yeah, look at this, you guys. This is not me joking around. This guy sent his boys in to soften me up, and didn't they? Didn't they just? I don't know why that didn't shield chatter at any point. I don't know what's wrong with me. Alright, do I have any other weapons? Melee weapons work really well against these big guys. Oh, not available. Wow, you can't turn it off early. I was wondering about that. Alright, let's do it. Again, no, I have no explanation. I don't know why I'm flubbing it so hard against this guy. The controller batteries are not low. I'm not suddenly drunk. I don't know what's happening here. I'm just getting worked by this guy and his whole crew. Goldsmith and his buddies. Come on. Oh! I pressed A. A. There we go. Holy hell. And also, Cara Luna was saying, I should pick up Darkest Dungeon again. That or Erratus, or whatever it's called. Erratus, Lord of the Dead, which is basically a Darkest Dungeon clone. Cara Luna, I've never heard of that. Carolina said it's the gold. It has to be. Yeah. No, he was very glamorous. Oh, yeah. Let's grab this. And by the way, I believe I know what the watch party is today, but if anybody is, I'm not 100% sure, so I would recommend checking out the general announcements or watch party channel, whatever it is, over on Mia's Discord, and I am confident it will have all of the details. So, yeah, we did this, and there was, oh, I think there was like a water spigot on the way out too. Yeah, I'm gonna drink some canteen. Carolina has barely played Erratus. It's the same genre, but I think less punishing than Darkest. I'm gonna have to look into that. I wasn't like directly in the market for a game like that right now, but I love learning about games that I was previously unfamiliar with because, hey, we all have backlogs for a reason. Gaming is one of those hobbies that you can have things lined up for years on what you'd like to do. Hey, Azric, if you're still near the keyboard, I asked Carolina earlier, I'm curious for your answer as well. Is there anything coming out this autumn or for the rest of this year that you are looking forward to? Anything that you're really excited that is still on the release schedule? Like, I know that I should be interested in, like, Metroid Dread or whatever it's called. Yeah, I mean, it looks good, I guess. Like, I'm sure that I'll like it, but I'm just not... I don't know. It hasn't really... If it was a new Metroid Prime game, I feel like I'd feel a little bit different. Like a real, like, first-person Metroid Prime game, like the ones done by Retro Studios. I loved all three of those.
This could work as cover.
Also, I have very few elements of gaming that I feel like I can brag about, but in Metroid Prime 3, whatever the little subtitle of that was, if it had one, that is the one Metroid game that I ever played that I got 100% completion without ever checking a guide. I found all the secrets, all the energy tanks, all the missile packs, like whatever else was in there, all of it, never ever selected a guide. And that was from Metroid Prime, where I found like many of them, I think most of them, to Metroid Prime 2, where I had like a bunch of them. Like I think it was like 80% or so. Every time I played a Metroid Prime game, the next one in the series, I found a higher percentage of them, culminating with 100 in the
You're back. What now?
Oh, what now, Chumbucket? I leave with 100% in the final one. Okay, we're gonna get this back to wherever it goes. Yeah, I'm not gonna go through any of this stuff. Let's, hey, can we just fast travel? I don't think that we can. That feels a little bit like cheating, even if we can. We're supposed to bring this back. I'm A, concerned that if I fast travel, I'll just lose the vehicle. And B, that really does feel like, hey, you found this, vehicle of valuable scrap. To just hit the fast travel button is, poor sportsmanship, I think. No nitrous on this one, on this vehicle. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any game that I've ever played, because I've played, here are examples. Mass Effect 2 and 3, the Gears of War games, at least 2 and 3. I don't remember the first one on this particular topic. But Gears of War 2 and 3, at least. BioShock Infinite. I don't remember if I did it on BioShock 2 or not, but I don't think that I did. These are all games that I played on hard. Darksiders 3. Darksiders 3, I might, in retrospect, have chosen to play on normal instead of hard. But I did play that one on hard and found it a very gratifying experience. One of my brightest memories of streaming a game came out of one of the boss fights that I was really having a lot of difficulty with. But those were all games that I played for the first time on hard difficulty mode. And so I'm just stopping to get some water. Here we go. And I felt like those games were improved by the experience of playing them on hard. However, I don't begrudge the existence of easier difficulty levels. Why would I? Why would I ever object to other people who choose to play on a difficulty level that better matches what they're looking for out of the game? Of course they should be allowed to do that. So that's why it's always surprising to me when I see people who like From Software games who are like, no, like this game should act as a gatekeeper for people that are good at hard games, like specifically From Software games, versus those that aren't good enough. It would dilute the experience to have, like, here's the standard difficulty level, but also here's a mode where the enemies do 10% less damage and you do 10% more damage to them. Here's a mode where when you die twice, rather than resetting you to the last bonfire, there's like little mini checkpoints along the way, so it's not as punishing. Like, why would an optional mode where those things can be selected if you want them diminish the experience of somebody who chooses to play it at its quote-unquote standard difficulty level? Because I have games that I've chosen to play on hard, I've enjoyed them, and the existence of easier difficulty levels didn't harm that experience in the slightest. So I guess that's what I'm thinking about it. Azric says, nothing on the radar. My life kind of got turned upside down on me, so I lost track of a lot of things. I know I was looking into New World that had since released earlier this week, but that's an MMO. I'll have to get back to checking on other games of interest. Yeah, I've only heard in the most circuitous ways, like manners, that there's been a lot of like major life upheaval, and that is, just so that you know, Azric, as much as I know, we're really big as a community on just respecting people's privacy and not delving into things that, you know, people will share what they feel comfortable sharing, and if it's not shared openly, then there's a big feeling in the community in general, don't tell other people's stories. So I'm only sharing that to say that I know that there's been a lot of upheaval. It's all I know, and all I can say is, as always, take care of yourself first. Like whatever games come out this fall, whatever video games come out early next year, they're still gonna be there when things settle out and look brighter again. So that's just a thought that I feel like people know, and maybe it can be beneficial to hear every once in a while. And hello to Mio, who says, hey all. Yes, Mio, I hope that you're having a great Saturday. So we can go back to this vehicle, which has better everything by a wide margin, so we're gonna build that rule of war, I guess. However, this one is very defensive. It has a lot of attack boost, terrible handling. And then this one has no border defense. Oh, and I can't build that one. Sanguine Guardian, no, it's not very good. Speed Demon, Righteous Spike. Yeah, of the ones that I can build, I do feel like this one is probably the best one available at this time.
Things you've done for us can't hardly be repaid.
Oh, here it comes! A mighty duster!
Carolina says, I guess it's status to finish a game that is known for being difficult if it has no configurable difficulty. Quote, everybody knows that it's a difficult game, so if you finish it, it's a status thing, maybe. Carolina, I believe that's exactly what it is. I think it's a status thing, and I don't know, it just seems weird to me. Like I don't know, it's not something that I'm gonna like pound my shoe on the table about or something. It's just like, I don't know. I enjoyed playing, like for me, I think we talked about this before, and again, for people who haven't played it, this is a completely spoiler-free observation on the tuning of the game only. I feel like Mass Effects 2 and 3 are, like, they're better experiences for me when played on the hard difficulty setting, because on normal, the enemies... It's not that you'll never die, you'll never have a problem, but the enemies... they don't get a lot of benefit out of whatever their special defenses or abilities are, and the fights tend to be over in sort of a very, very fast way. And on hard, I honestly feel like for Mass Effects 2 and 3, the game was actually balanced on hard difficulty level and then taken down a bit for what they then called normal. And that's fine. I enjoyed the experience more on hard because, like, on normal, the enemies will have armor and they'll have shields. I hope everybody just keeps coming up in single file. This is great. On normal difficulty, the presence or absence of... Oh, this has project parts. I didn't even know that that was down here. Armor and shields doesn't really matter. Like, you have a gun, you shoot the guy with the gun, the guy falls over. Sometimes the life bar is blue, sometimes it's yellow, sometimes it's red or whatever the actual hit point bar is. But they're just going to die, and they're going to die in about the same amount of time. That was my experience with the game. Once you bump it up to hard, not only are there shields and armor, but there's like different, like those defenses count a lot, and it strongly encourages you to use weapons or abilities that are good against that specific, or combos, by the way, that are good against that specific defense mechanism. So it forces you to engage more fully in the game mechanics in a way that I didn't find harder, I found more rewarding. So that's my take on Mass Effect. I mean, what does it mean? Well, so, sorry, Azric says... Oh, did I read this out loud? Like we talked about earlier, I still have to finish The Ascent. Really, really was enjoying that game and want to complete it. Yeah, The Ascent is... Again, we were talking about games that, like, come out and I've never heard of, and then it turns out that they're kind of notable. The Ascent is a great example of that. I'd never heard word one about that game until it came out, and people started talking about it, and again, the line on the game has been, it's a little bit janky, it's a little bit, you know, crashy every once in a while, but it really succeeds at what it sets out to do, and people really, really like it. So as long as you know, I feel like the word on the game is, as long as you know that you're not going in there to get like a AAA experience, you're going in there to get a very strong AA experience. And as long as you go in with appropriate expectations, you're going to have a great time. I feel like my expectations are appropriately set, and I think I'll have a really good time with it. Sorry, should I stop here? Is there anything of a 3 scrap? I don't care about 3 scrap.
It's a war party.
Hold on, let me not hit this person. I don't know how this person knows that I'm not hostile. I'm glad that they do, that I don't have to, like, play a little mini game of talking them down.
You gotta be a big man to carry such hardware. Mighty might big.
Carolina was asking of the vehicle, what does it mean that it has a bad handling score? You know, that could cover a lot of things. For me, it's like looking at those other vehicles, it's more... Oh, scrap crew parts. We're gonna go get this. For me, it's a little bit more about the fact that it didn't feel like it did other things well that I did care about. Handling, I think, is generally like the ability to take a corner quickly, to stay on the road, the traction on the tires and stuff, so that you're not spinning out as frequently as I was on the speed demon. I think that that's sort of overall what it is. And yeah, there's lots of ways around that if you have better defenses and stuff, but I didn't feel like those cars would bring anything better to the table. Yeah, can we have the fight out here? Like, it's worse handling, but then not a lot of better other things that are important. To me, at least. Okay, come on. Again? Nope. Shield's down. Yeah, Mio, I've been, it occurred to me, like, this morning, I really want to send out a tweet that's just like, man, I really miss Tashir. Like, get well soon, I hope you're still in the men. I'm concerned that it's just sort of repeating sentiments that have been shared before, but I would also want him to know that, still thinking them. Like, it might be a repeat sentiment, but it's no less true. We are now, for people that might watch this at some point in the future, this is October 2nd. And Tashir's streaming schedule was deeply disrupted, like, I think as far back as June. So it's really been a long time without somebody that we feel very strongly is like a major foundational element of this whole community. We met a lot of people through Tashir. I'd like to think that he's met some people through us. The weekends, you know, we're recording this on a Saturday. I'm, by the way, so much A. So much A. He couldn't get lined up to do a Shiv Punisher on the staircase. This game was one that was strongly recommended by Tashir, knowing the kind of games that I like to play in stream. And he was like, oh man, like Mad Max, I think you're really going to have a good time with that. And we already owned it from a previous sale, but his recommendation bumped it significantly up the list. Tashir matters a lot in the community, and when you're gone for so long and have been recovering from the series of events that Tashir has been recovering from, I'm always concerned that it can be easy to lose sight of, like, that people really do miss you. It's not a transitive thing. It's not like, oh, it's been a bunch of months, like, you know, they've probably moved on. No, super haven't. Like, super have not moved on. Hey man, it's never a bad thing to let anybody know that you're thinking of them and wishing them well. Yeah, I'm concerned that, as we've talked about, life is about to get in the way again, but let's, I think maybe send that out a little bit, maybe just after this stream. Because I agree with you. Let me put it this way, and I think this is what Mio is getting at as well. Isn't it way better to overemphasize how much people mean to you, as opposed to, I don't know why I got out of the car. I could have just harpooned these guys. Oh, okay. For some reason in my head, I thought this was a jump. And it's actually one of these things that you're supposed to pull the cover off of and then blow up. And I always forget which side you do it on. Getting reloaded, and boom. Oh! Hello, water people. Give me some water.
Have you water to spare a dead man?
Julian says, as long as overemphasizing doesn't put too much pressure on the person involved, then yes. Yeah, that's the other side of it. Like,
Thank you,
no
stranger.
one should feel... You know, I think all of us take our community on Twitch, our individual community, the people that come and chat with us, the lurkers that come to hang out, the people that subscribe, and then the broader community of other streamers pretty seriously. That said, scrap pallets? Yes, I don't know. Kind of want to go do this. Yeah. That said, all of the things that I just mentioned are never more important than you, your health, your family, your real life, your job. You know, the things like, hey, Twitch is awesome, and all the respect in the world to people who can, like, make a livable wage cultivating and working up a Twitch community. Like, hey, big thumbs up. Congratulations on that. To a lot of us, though, it is something that we're doing in the background, in my case, to take a break from all of the stresses of everyday life. And believe me, that real life would be ever so much stressful if there was no steady paycheck, if there was no health coverage, if there were other issues in personal life and at home. And I bring this up because we've been very fortunate to have a semi-consistent streaming schedule for a long time. Sooner or later, life will come up. It always does. And when it does, everybody should feel free. I know where the green line is pointing, by the way. I'm just going more in a direct route. Everyone should have the freedom to say, I need to step away to take some time, and to know that they're going to be, that people will be there when they come back. And I would want Tashir to know that, and anybody else that has real life coming up. So we do also have a convoy here somewhere that I haven't met. So I'm actually going to take the long way around, and we're going to see if we can find our way to wherever the convoy is. Don't care much about the ornament, but I do like fighting the convoys. Oh, Mio, because I'm not sure if you were here for this. There will be an event on Mia's Discord a little bit later today. I believe it starts about noon Eastern, but I could be mistaken, and it might be worthwhile to check the schedule. But it's going to be sort of a scary movie marathon, and I believe that the details will be up on Discord. And based on what we were discussing yesterday, I think that's going to be running through a bunch of the day. So even if you missed one thing, rest assured that there will be stuff running. So if you are interested in some spooky movies, that would be on the Sandbox Discord. Not only do I not have a link, I'm actually not sure how to get a link for a Discord server. Discord is very curiously designed from my perspective. Oh, hello. Yeah, let's get this. But like Carolina, the handling on this car is exemplary. Like I'm always able to get it going in the direction that I want, as opposed to Speed Demon. And frankly, it just makes the exploration and combat feel so much better when the handling is there. It's less hilarious to like be just constantly ramming into rocks.
Glint of glass, it's a shooter.
I have a bad feeling that's the convoy going by. Yes, it was. It was. Get back in the car. Or behind the wheel. Go. Like that right there, if I was in Speed Demon, I would have gone over the edge. This car just goes where you want it to, and it feels really good to drive. Not off the edge. Yeah, the convoy fights are, for me, like one of the most fun bits. Oh, so Carolina, sort of a Okay, then I'm just gonna let go of it. I got him spun around, so... Oh, he's still kicking. Look at that. Oh, no, he's not. No, he's not. There were actually 2 cars there.
I'll be sitting quite still without wheels.
The fire is not very effective against this guy. You think a giant fuel tanker, you know, blown open or not. Oh, but it does damage over time. I always forget that aspect of it. Oh, you want to come along for the ride, sir? I'll be happy to bring you. Okay, let's see if we can bring this home now. Okay. So many things! You guys, there were so many crosshairs to shoot there, and I managed to not hit any of them or even fire at all. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Come on. Yeah, that's right. Oh my gosh, wait, I missed a whole thing that Carolina had written. Let me put it this way. If I was the one recovering and I heard people looking so much forward to me getting back, then I think that would put more pressure on me to get back, even though, yes, I know recovering is more important, then I can get back than when I'm ready for it. And that's, for real, something that I've been considering. You know, how to express support without the pressure that comes with it. That said, it's been... it's been a bunch of weeks. I think that since Tashir might have heard directly, so at least from me. So I think that I'd like to just let him know. Also, Tashir has been posting on Twitter from time to time. He has watched both seasons of The Boys, and was very respectful not to do anything like spoilery in his Twitter feed, but yes, had some reactions that I am familiar with. Okay, so a bunch of achievements have popped. I believe, if I was to guess, they probably indicate that I've pulled down all the scarecrows and gotten all of the convoys. Now, what am I missing in... Okay, so I've got 2 projects that I can do. I never got water storage at all, so maybe I want to do those. Scrap, scrap, water storage parts. Yeah, let's go get those. And then what we might do, you guys, is go around with the dog and do some of the minefields. And we also might not do that. I haven't decided. The Boys is on Amazon. It is a very, very good show. There was something just about the title, like just being called The Boys, that I was like, okay, so I'm familiar, like I know what the premise is loosely, but really it's that good? And then we watched it, and yeah, it is that good. I am, in a way, frustrated that we don't have more of it to watch yet, but in another way, hopefully some of this additional time during which they can't film and stuff can be used to, like, just make the writing and the script as good as it can possibly be. Oh yeah, now you turn it around. Oh, he's throwing his little stones. We blew out his back tire.
Just go. I would actually appreciate some time.
Yeah, I still had that. Wouldn't you know it? It wasn't the only one that I had, the shot from before. Oh, Azric says The Boys Season 3 wrapped filming this week or last. So, as far as I know, that is, like it's the filming that is really difficult for them to do. Mostly it's the gas here, because I am at a third gas. It's getting everybody together. Everybody, you know, everybody in front of the camera, everybody behind the camera doing that work. That's what gets really, really difficult in a... That was barely any fuel at all. But it was some. But nonetheless, maybe they'll have extra time for whatever their post-processing process is. All their post-production is what I meant. All their post-production stuff for all the effects work. The Boys does that work as well as feature films I've seen. So, yeah, hopefully they can maintain that same level of quality. I remember that, like, Season 2 came out comparatively early into the COVID-19 pandemic, and I remember people were, like, actively angry that they didn't release all the episodes at once and instead were releasing them weekly. Now, for me, I don't know, man. I actually like weekly release schedules. I don't like the way that network television does it, where it's 3 weeks of new episodes, then a rerun, then 2 weeks of new episodes, then a special of some kind, like then the Emmys are gonna be on or whatever. Like, I really dislike that, because you don't know ever when the new episode is gonna be, or it's just very frustrating that you have to spend part of your life to get caught up on. Like, when can I see the thing that I'm trying to watch? Okay, so apparently you can't shield shatter when you're in Fury mode, and that's okay. I just would spend less time trying if I could remember that. But if a series is going to come out like 1 episode a week at this time for its entire run, 8 episodes, 13 episodes, 22 episodes, whatever it is, if there's no breaks in that and you always know when to come back, I actually really like that for a specific reason. It keeps the show in the public conversation for longer. When all of the episodes are released on Netflix, I don't binge things personally. I don't like to sit there and, like, try to watch 8 hours of television all at one time, because one of the things we've talked about is that the rest of life happens, and I know that some people have a schedule that makes that more feasible and they want to see it all at once, and again, that's cool for you, but for me, if one episode comes out and I watch it and all of my friends watch it as well, then we all get a chance to talk about that one episode, and there's not one person in the crew or everyone else in the crew who has seen the entire run of things. Like, oh, wait till you get to episode 6. Yeah, that's where things really touch off. It's like, okay, cool. I don't get to talk about this or discover it or hypothesize about it with anybody because everyone else has already seen it. I don't care about the scrap. Okay, so there's one more project part somewhere in the world. Not here. Or here. 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 Nope. Scrap. Scrap. History relic. Scrap. Water storage parts. Boy, I think I had to drive past that to get to this one. Oops. Azric says, let's not mention if a news special or sporting event just takes over and you're left wondering, when are you going to re-show that episode? Oh, phew. Azric, someday when, like, none of us are feeling bored enough, I will inveigh against the way that NBC treated news radio. Hey, remember when Phil Hartman was alive and he was like a comedy legend and was one of the headliners of News Radio, a show that had Maura Tierney and Dave Foley and Steven Russell? Oh God. And yeah, unfortunately it also had Joe Rogan and Andy Dick. They were in it. And unfortunately were really good on the show as well. Oh, and Condi Alexander? I'm very worried always about forgetting people's names, but like News Radio had an aces cast. It was so good. And it was so much smarter and funnier than the other must-see TV television shows that were on. And what did NBC do? NBC would bump News Radio for literally anything, including an opportunity to show reruns of Third Rock from the Sun. Look, man, I like John Lithgow a lot, and I like Joseph Gordon-Levitt even more than that. These guys are fantastic actors, and they're great at what they do. Third Rock from the Sun was a fucking idiotic show. I strongly disliked it. It was never funny. It was never clever or inventive. It was the most... Okay, let's just move on. I'm not mad at Third Rock from the Sun because it was so frequently used. Like, they would show 4 episodes in a row of Third Rock from the Sun reruns to avoid showing 1 episode of News Radio that was done, filmed, in the can, and they still wouldn't show it because they could apparently feel they could get more reruns of more viewership from a Third Rock episode that had just aired 2 weeks earlier. Oh my God. And then that's before we get to Futurama, which somehow was worse. It was treated worse than that by Fox. Okay, I did press dodge. And we've talked a little bit about it in the past, but Futurama was scheduled at a time slot when Fox knew that virtually anything that happened during the sports game that preceded it would always bump it and eliminate it from the schedule. It's not that they pushed their timeline back because God forbid The Simpsons not air right at 8 p.m. square. So they would just like have a post-game conversation about the thing and then just skip Futurama. So anyway, this is all a lot of like complaining to say like, yeah, when live television broadcasts would be bumped for sports events or news events or whatever else, yeah, it really interferes with your ability to be engaged with the series. Because you never, like, when I say that you never knew when, oh, hold on. Let's just wait for him to pop. Not only did you never know when an episode of News Radio or Futurama was going to be on, but you could fairly well rest assured that it wasn't going to be on at whatever time the schedule said. Because they were just always bumped. And I'll look at chat in a second, and we should also note, like, you know, first world problems and all that, but... you know, it was still annoying. Oh, I knew it was coming and flubbed the button press. Like, that one was all me. How about you? Nope, just a little interpretive dance? Okay. Kick you in the face, then. And then it was so weird. Oh, Beth. What was her name? Darn it. I don't remember. And you know what's disappointing? As far as I know, like, if somebody heard this and said, like, wow, News Radio, boy, Angel has a high opinion of that. I've never heard of it. Where can I go to see it? You guys, I honestly don't know. I don't know if it's on Peacock or if you have to buy it separately. Like News Radio is such a weird product in that it was so much brighter than so many other things that were on NBC, like we talked about, and yet, like, you'd have an easier time watching Suddenly Susan than you would that, like what was that Boston Common? Remember that show? No? That's right, nobody does. But you'd have an easier time finding Boston Common. Not Boston Public, which was the legal drama. Boston... No, wait. Boston Public was the school one. Boston Legal was the legal one, I think. Okay. But yeah, unrelated to either of those two David E. Kelley projects, there was an NBC sitcom called Boston Common, which basically featured a comedian whose name I've long since forgotten, having a crush on some woman. I'm trying to remember. I think it took place at a college, but he had a crush on some woman who then went on. Traylor Howard is, I think, the actress's name, who then went on to replace Sharona on Monk. And yeah, I mean, she's like, it was a fine cast, but it was the exact same setup that every single NBC sitcom use. Here's a location and some attractive people, and one or more of them has a crush on one or more of the other ones. So, by the way, I think that we now have all the project parts. Yeah, let's just fast travel back. We'll get all of our project parts done. Do I know of Nigel Planner or Stephen Briggs? If so, from where? Not by name. I'm not familiar with either of their names. Those might also be townships or locations. But no, I am not familiar. Okay, so we've got this here. Cleanup crew. Now these guys pick up scrap automatically for you, which is really nice. Oh, and while we're just waiting for this animation to go, Boston News Radio, by the way, did not have that, or at least not to any meaningful degree of one person has a secret longing crush on another person, but they're in another relationship, so will they or won't they? Will they or won't they? They will? Oh, no, they won't. But they will! Oh, but no, they won't, because now they're in a fight. Like, News Radio, like, didn't fall victim to that. There's at least one more project, I think. So let's just take a quick look around. Oh, I know exactly where it is, because we saw it earlier in this episode. It's on the second level. Yeah, there it is. I just have to find which of these places has the staircase. And instead, it played to all the comedy strengths of the people that were on the show. And it turns out Phil Hartman and Dave Foley are very and Stephen Root. Stephen Root, not Stephen Russell. That's his name, Stephen Root. These are very, very funny people. And when you put them onto a show together, they are very, very funny together. And here's the problem. On the show News Radio, Andy Dick is also very funny. And Joe Rogan is also very funny. And it's difficult to give them credit for being positive, active participants on the show. Like, they made the show better. I like News Radio including their parts in it. And that is difficult to say, given the fact that, and we're not going to go into it here, but suffice to say that I strongly disagree with both of them on effectively everything that exists. So, okay, yep, so we've got that, and let's do dog stuff. Like, I want to go here. I think that we're pretty deep into the game. I'm gonna go do dog stuff. Select a different vehicle. Vehicle collection, And again, it's sort of weirdly down here. Chum's buggy. I don't know why it says new. Maybe it's new that I can drive it in a race or whatever, but this is where the dog is. Killing says,
dog.
I know of them from being the readers of the audiobooks I've heard of Discworld, but I see both of them have, of course, done a lot of other things, so I just wondered if they crossed over into all the people that you know about and talk about. Not by name, but that's not to say that they don't... that they haven't done other things that I know about. Like again, we talked, I think in the last episode of this, about William Salyer's performance in Spider-Man. That man was not just born, right? He's been doing acting, I assume, for a very long time before this. The fact that I'm not familiar with the other, like his other body of work, doesn't invalidate that. And the same thing goes for your, for the folks that you're asking about, Carolina. All right, we've picked up a tail. So we'll just let him follow along while I do this.
What you got?
Speaking of The Simpsons, which I don't think anybody actually was, but the dog, Dinky D, his bark reminds me of what's-his-face, the crime barking dog in The Simpsons. Bark, 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 like that. I really love that bit. Man, that dog can sell anything. Oh! It's stupid dog! No! How about a little bit of heads up? What the fuck? Okay, so we're gonna finish clearing out this. Like, I was not going that fast when he started, like, yarping. Yep, okay. Little bit this way. Carolina says if you let them follow behind, maybe they'll find the mines before you do. Here's a nice detail. The enemies do also recognize when they're in a minefield, and they will actually get out of their vehicles and try to avoid. So I can't go anywhere else in this. We have to go back. Let's just fast travel back. And then we can have a nicely... Oops, shit. Oh, I'm so sorry, you guys, because now we have to, like, go back in. I pressed the wrong button. Okay, this time, vehicle collection, and Chum's buggy there. Well, if I hadn't rammed that mine, we would have been all good. Let's see if we can overland this a little bit. It's a dune buggy, right? It should be able to dune buggy. I will also say that we've been playing this game all along on maximum quality settings for what's available in the game, and outside of some cutscenes, especially some in-engine cutscenes where it has randomly, like very inconsistently, gotten extremely hitchy from time to time, the whole game has always run perfectly. So I've been loath to make any adjustments. That said, the NVIDIA, like the little NVIDIA experience thing that offers to auto-tune your games, has wanted to set the internal rendering resolution to, like, quadruple what it is. And I've specifically not done that because I value a steady and high frame rate over almost any other consideration. That said, we might, like in the next episode or something, go ahead and try that setting, and if it blows up and it doesn't work properly, then we'll, like, maybe revert the save. So I don't want to miss anything, but... Dinky D says this way. I'm trying to... Okay, so when he's pointing straight ahead, I'm always going to go a few degrees off now. Yarp, yarp, yarp. There we go. Oh, here's a semi-random topic that just occurred to me. So what just happened is I thought to myself, boy, Halloween Kills should be in theaters pretty soon, and I think it's going to be on demand probably pretty quickly after that. And when you consider that the 2018 Halloween movie is the only Halloween movie that I've given a shit about, and I actually very much enjoyed that. This is a point on which, like, I disagree with a lot of people, including people here at home. But the John Carpenter Halloween movie, I can respect its impact on the slasher genre while also not finding it particularly engaging. I've seen here and there some of the other Halloween movies, the whole oh gosh, what's it called? The Cloverleaf trilogy or whatever it's called. What was that called? He's got like a little tattoo on his wrist that gets introduced at some point, and that's like some Sam Hain bullshit. Like whatever. Like all of their attempts to extend Halloween into a franchise that was anything other than Man Has Knife was such a laughable failure. And what am I saying? I didn't even mean to get off on this topic. Here's what I wanted to say. So, Halloween Kills is about to be released into theaters, I think very, very soon, and a lot of people are looking forward to it, including, surprisingly enough, me. I am also looking forward to the release of that movie, because I very much enjoyed the last one that these same people did. Now, on Twitter, somebody posted an article that was titled something like, the headline of the article was something along the lines of, oh, Blumhouse is going to put Halloween Kills into theaters even after the box office failure of the movie Freaky. And that was interesting because we just watched Freaky last weekend. And Freaky was one of those movies that it came out like right at the end of 2020, when the fall, like the autumn time, winter time pandemic was at its absolute worst. So yeah, it got put into theaters. Nobody went to go see it. It had nothing to do with the quality of the movie. It's that nobody was going to go to a movie theater. I am frankly surprised at the end of 2021 here that people are going into movie theaters right now. But the article was like, oh, like they're going to go with a theater release even after the movie like bombed in the theaters. And the article was being reposted by apparently the guy who wrote the movie Freaky. And if you're not familiar with this, we'll talk about what the movie's about in just a second because we just watched it last weekend. And his point was, box office failure, son, no one could go see it. It came out at the height of the pandemic. It was raging at that time. I couldn't go see it, and I wrote the movie. So, you know, get off of this with like giant box office failure and all this other stuff. And I both take his point and, you know, thought that the article was like, the article made it sound like the movie didn't do well and wasn't worthy of being put into theaters, when in fact it was the circumstances of its release. And that leads me to the movie Freaky. So I'm going to describe information here that you could immediately pull from the trailer. I will also note that Freaky has a lot of production crossover with Happy Death Day and Happy Death Day to You, which are criminally underrated. Like, I have issues with Happy Death Day more so than the sequel. I have a couple things to say about it. We won't delve into it right here. But those movies are extremely good. You know, okay, Let me rephrase that, because I can't say that the movies are extremely good. I enjoyed both of those movies, Happy Death Day and its sequel, far more than I expected to. I can't say that they're high art or high cinema, I've got some feedback on a couple things, but on the whole, I really enjoyed those movies. So when it was announced that, like, okay, due to poor box office returns on Happy Death Day to You, we're probably never going to get a third movie to round out that trilogy, and I'm very disappointed about that. But, okay. Here's another movie by the same creative team. It's called Freaky. Awesome. So, again, wasn't going to go see it in the theater, but we got to watch it about a week ago. Freaky is basically the premise. If the premise of Happy Death Day was, what if Groundhog's Day, but a slasher villain was on the loose, and you kept reliving the same day over and over and over again, where a Scream-like slasher villain was stalking and murdering you every day, what would that be like? And if that sounds like an entertaining premise for a movie, yes, it is. And like a movie with a surprising amount of heart as well. Like, Happy Death Day is a difficult project to pigeonhole. It's got a lot going on, and it succeeds more often than it fails. We'll say that. Well, Freaky is... If you keep expecting me to say Freaky Friday, then you're very close. Freaky is, what if there was a Jason Voorhees, but due to circumstances beyond his control, he accidentally switched bodies with one of the teenage victims that he was planning to murder. And specifically, what if it was a teenage girl? So suddenly you had a Jason Voorhees who had all of the murderous intent of a Jason Voorhees, but in the body of a 16-year-old high school student who weighs like $110 at most. And if that again sounds like a fun premise for a movie. Oh, and by the way, she goes into his body as well. Yes, it was a lot of fun. Both Happy Death Day and Freaky seem like movies that are perfectly tuned to people who don't typically like horror movies, because they have a fresh and inventive spin on a genre that frankly tends to feel very tired. What if there was a man with a knife and the man with knife was coming after you? And Happy Death Day says, but it's Groundhog's Day, and Freaky says, but also it's Freaky Friday, and you have just switched bodies with the killer. And like, that shit's cool, man. Hey, Jab, I hope you're having a nice Saturday. So now, that is the basic premise of the movie. And from here, because I liked it, I want to be very careful not to say very much more about Freaky, because I feel like it's a movie best experienced. Oh, yeah, sure. Wait, no, don't fire the shotgun at him. Get a little bit of distance, and then fire the shotgun at him. Okay. And now we'll just put one in the tank. All right. Thanks, Mr. Cartwheel. We'll see you later. Carolina says, I love the large suspension movement of that car. I think probably this buggy. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I like the springs. You get to see the suspension work. Not right there, though. That's just watching me crash. And then Carolina says, so why was it even released at that time? Well, I think that was the actual premise of the article. And the same goes for Halloween Kills, which, by the way, was intended to be released last year and was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. So now we're a year later, the movie is finally coming out. Is it smart to come out? It is this. Okay, yeah, I see it now. I saw the marker, but I couldn't see the mine, so I wasn't sure if it was just marking the minefield itself. Yeah, Carolina, why are they releasing it now? Or why did they release Freaky last year? I don't know. It leads to the illusion that there was this box office failure, which again was what this article felt like it was implying, when in fact, to be as blunt as possible, no one with a lick of sense in their head was gonna go sit in an enclosed theater with the air conditioning recirculating air throughout the room in a crowd of other people in the fall of 2020. I will also say that I read an article on Polygon, the one review that I saw of Freaky, and I want to say as I'm moving forward on this next sentence, I do not agree with this, and I just wanted to preface that. See, Carolina, these guys, they know there's a minefield here. They'll chuck rocks, they'll chuck insults, but they won't enter the minefield until it's cleared, which I kind of respect. What I was saying about, there was a review that they put up on Polygon that said, well, Freaky's, you know, fun, but it doesn't have a lot going on outside of the... I specifically remember that their thing was like, wouldn't it be weird if you suddenly had boobs? Wouldn't it be weird if you suddenly had a penis? And I'm just letting you know, that's not what this movie is. I don't know why that's the direction that the Polygon writer thought, like, oh, this is what the whole movie is. It is dispensed with very quickly that the Jason Voorhees is now a teenage girl in terms of like what that's like physically, because it turns out Jason Voorhees, not much of a sex drive. Not that into like Jason Voorhees really just wants to kill people. That's like that's what he wants to do. That's his whole jam. Okay, it suddenly moves my thing away. Jason Voorhees is not distracted by the sudden presence of a female body. He just super wants to kill people. And meanwhile, the teenage girl is much more preoccupied by the fact that she's now in the body of a known serial killer. And how is she going to deal with that? So it is acknowledged, but it is by no means the focus of the movie. And I feel like that Polygon review does a severe disservice by pretending the movie centers on things that it factually does not. You can like Freaky, you cannot like Freaky, but you can't make the argument that it's some sort of a deep dive gender swap story or something like that. Killian says people in the business would have known that would have been the result. I just don't get it. Or must have known. Caroluna, people who should know better and somehow don't... Oh, is he going to come up to the car? Oh, I guess he is. Okay, it's me apparently not pressing the right direction, and on we go. No, Caroluna, why did executives at Fox secure the rights, pay money, put money into developing a television series that they then would put onto Friday nights at 8, which is well known in the United States television market as the death slot? It's always going to be suffer from extremely low ratings. Why would you slate a television series there, get low ratings, and then cancel it because of the low ratings that it could only ever have gotten because of the slot that you chose to put it? I don't know. Like it's so much time and money and expertise spent after cratering something for no reason. I don't know why that's true. Why do they do that? I don't know. Who was it? Who did this? EA. Why did EA once release Titanfall 2 and Battlefield on the same day? Why did they do that? I don't know. And I'm not saying I don't know to shut down conversations. I'm saying that it requires... The answer to the question either relies on information about the... Ooh, hold on. Let me get a little bit further away from that one. It either requires a knowledge of the industry that I just don't have, like maybe there's a rational explanation for it and I don't have access to it, or it It's actual outright sabotage. It's a company or executives at a company saying, for reasons that I cannot possibly begin to imagine, we've spent hundreds of thousands, possibly $1 million, possibly multi-millions of dollars bringing this project to fruition, and now let's make sure it fails. Is that some sort of like late stage capitalism, like tax dodge? I don't know. I really don't know. But it happens, and it happens at the hands of people who must know better. And me saying, are you talking about that horror take on Freaky Friday? Yep, that's the one. Yep, it's just called Freaky, and like, here's the thing. I want to make sure that I'm providing a, like, there's movies that I say you have to go see this right now. Freaky's not among them. Like, if you wind up waiting and watching it on HBO or some other way that you can see it in its intended version and not, you know, I'm not saying you have to rush out and like rent it, you know, go out and pay money for it. I'm not saying that that's where that has to go. So we're looking for a minefield, and I think that we've cleared a minefield that was further to the south. So I'm going to head north-ish. We're going to go see if we can find a minefield up there. But what I am saying is, so I'm going to say a couple things about Freaky that are non-spoilery. Number one, do not watch an edited version. This movie is an R. It's an R rating. It's an R rating for a good reason. In other territories, that might be Peggy 18 or whatever. I don't know. But it is a movie that would miss a lot if you had to see an edited version. That said, it is not like ridiculously gory. It's not cartoonishly gory. There's nothing in it. It's not. You're not watching Hostel. You know, you're not watching The Hills Have Eyes, Last House on the Left. It's not one of those movies. It is a movie that would be diminished by watching it in an edited for television format. So don't do that. Don't see it with commercials. Oh, we're already on the track. Dinky D knows what's up. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure that I don't... Yarp, 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 yarp. I've been wondering if drive-in movie theaters will make a comeback. You would think that that would be the logical outcome of a pandemic, where you don't want to sit into a theater with a bunch of people, but also, you would think that a drive-in theater would be comparatively inexpensive to get up and running. Here's what you don't care about. Tuning the speakers at the movie theater so that it meets some THX Dolby Plus standard. You don't care about setting up air conditioning. You don't care about I'm trying to think of other overhead costs that the movie theaters wouldn't have to worry about. You need a big screen, you need a projector, and you need a concession stand, and then, and this is serious, you need to have like the little speakers that everybody puts into their car. So you're gonna have all those wireless speakers set up and tuned and make sure that they are functioning properly. The setup cost for a drive-in theater feels much more attainable than to do an actual sit-down theater. We have to have all the seats and the cup holders, and you have to keep in mind the sight lines. You got to put up all the baffling for the sound suppression and stuff like that. You don't have to do any of those for a drive-in movie theater. You need a field and a wall that you can mount that screen on. Okay, one more minefield up here. Yeah. Oh, we found that one by accident. Cool. It's not even the one I was looking for. And frankly, I think that a drive-in theater might provide an overall better experience anyway, just because you don't have to worry as much about a conversation happening a row and a half back. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Jeb. I don't know why they didn't do more drive-in theaters. Seating comfort at the movie theater, they don't need any of it. Yeah. Yeah, it would just be like, hey, park in your car. Like you still have to have custodial staff because people are pigs and they're just going to throw their trash on the ground. I'm not saying this. Well, you know, I'm just going to say it to say it. I have on many occasions been on the way out of a theater and I've seen somebody leave their their popcorn bag that's now full of like trash, and I have stopped to pick it up and put it into the receptacle on my way out, because to me it's one bag of garbage, and to the person that comes in to clean up after everybody, oh yeah, this is too mountainous. There's not going to be any minefields up here. So I might check this field over here. Let's see if we can all right, I'm going to go north. I really don't feel like there's going to be any minefield up there. But it's like, if every single person who left the theater took some garbage with them, then the life of the people who do have to go in and clean up like the popcorn that's spilled on the ground, or they have to get out the mop to clean up like somebody's soda, like those are just accidents. That's just going to happen. It's part of like being a thing. But like not picking up your trash, come on. I think when I was a teenager, when I was a piece of shit teenager, I went through a very brief period. It was like, oh, it's their job, like, you know, they should do it. And I think that like maybe I left trash behind like once, maybe twice, and I was like, I felt bad about it afterwards because it's so easy. It's like the garbage cans are right there on the way out. So I don't know. I don't want to get preachy about this. It's just, come on. Come on. Mio's saying that there are a few doing well down here for like drive-in theaters. That's cool. Here's a fun fact. I've never been to a drive-through theater. I've never like gone. I have extended family that went to go see, I want to say it was the Disney animated Beauty and the Beast at a drive-in theater, but the little speaker that came with, first of all, there were like, the kids in the car would not shut up and watch the movie. So they were chattering, and the father of the group couldn't hear the movie unless he like took the little speaker that they gave and like held it directly up onto his ear. So then his wife was not able to hear it, and it turned out to be a very unpleasant experience for everybody involved. And so although I've never been to a drive-in theater myself, it sort of like set the standard in my head that like I'd want to make sure that I went with people that didn't want to have a big conversation through it. I'll also say that about Mia's watch parties. Like, if anybody has, like, heard, oh, a watch party, well, that seems like it could be fun, but I don't want to... What the... What the hell just happened out here? What? Wait, we all... Is there a storm coming, or, like... This car just started, like, crashing itself and then flew its way all the way over here. Oh, no, this is my car. Is the dog still here? Dog? I think he's back there. I can't tell. He's in his... Oh, there he is. Yep, okay. I don't know why my car just did that. Okay, so we're looking for one more minefield here. Let's head down and... So let's assume that it's going to be like a big open plain, right? So let me head here. With the mountains and ridges in this section, it seems like there's only a couple places that it could reasonably be, but we'll take a look around. Okay, I'm not well equipped. We don't have Chum Bucket here, so I'm not well equipped to handle that. roaming band of jerks. Oh, sorry, I got distracted by the car crashing thing. In Mia's watch parties, like if anybody wants to like sit and watch what is being presented, you do not need to participate in the chat or even have it open. It is trivially easy to expand the presentation to full screen, and you can just like close right out of chat. There's no expectation that people are in there or commenting, but sometimes people will have a question about something that just happened, or have a comment about the production so far, and that can be fun to have that level of interaction. All right, so nothing here. Let's go check out this field next.
You smell something.
Oh, we've got a hint. Yep, there we go. It's all the bombed out car wrecks. That's what I was sort of looking for. I feel like there's been a lot of like oh wait, I was about to say something about Netflix, but I'm not sure that I have a lot of like a really boisterous defense that I want to give of Netflix, because I don't always feel enthusiastic about some of the projects that they do, and that's fine, but I'm very I'm very glad that they're out there to do things like The Circle or Sense8, or like the rejuvenation, the continuation of Cobra Kai is happening on Netflix by their dollar. Like, I'm really glad that there's somebody, like a production studio out there that's willing to finance those things, because I really like those things. To a lesser extent, same goes for Amazon with like The Boys. I'm really glad that they're doing that. So there's one more minefield, I think. There's two more minefields, I think, in the entire game. So, well, I guess what we'll do is we'll get down here. You know what's faster? Just fast traveling. Oh, darn it. Then I did start talking about Netflix, or like said the thing that I just did, and now I have completely forgotten. I was immediately going to move on to something else. What was it? It was something like, I'm really glad that Netflix is out there to do that work. And then I thought about something else that I'd even more want to make that point about. And so, since I'm already on the edge, here's what we'll do. I'm sure that I've driven this northern section a whole bunch. So, oh, and I also did the Grave Bridge. So let's see if we can like maybe get down towards here. Oh wait, he's already barking. Wait.
Out, dog.
Hold on. The hell? Is the minefield inside this rubble? And if so, how would I even get in here? This is weird. Because look at Dinky D. So the rubble's on my right. He stays on the right side of the car, saying, go in here, go in here, go in here, go in here, go in here. Oh, this is so weird. And like you might think, oh, just get on foot, like walk in there, but Dinky D is the one who detects the mines. So the only thing I can think of is that maybe I'm supposed to go down into this staircase and then find some other way to bring the car in. Either that or this is like a mine production facility and the mines are just going to be like laying out on the ground because they were testing them. No. Okay. I have already been in here because I will have turned that that valve to shut down a flame spout. I do remember doing this. Jab says they're also providing money to people in small markets to bring their product to large markets. Shows like Money Heist in Spain and a number of Korean shows. Yeah, I think it was just yesterday. Somebody came by and informed me, and Jab, it might have been you for all I remember, that Squid Game is a Korean television show, not an indie video game that everybody has suddenly been talking about. Also, I saw on Twitter, somebody said, look, I'm not looking to brag. I'm just saying that I am actually fluent in Korean. And Squid Game, if you watch Squid Game with English subtitles, you got robbed. Because there's, like, the dialogue is so much better written, and whoever did the subtitles on it just didn't bother to bring out any of the cleverness or nuance to it. So I am now inside the rubble that Dinky D was barking at. I don't know where there might be mines in here. Okay, we've got a little generator. I think I have to leave this place because this isn't a minefield and I don't know what Dinky D is on about. And I can't get Dinky D in here anyway. Uh-oh. Okay, that wasn't so bad. Kira Luna saying, fun fact, Kira Luna is not fluent in Korean. I remember that, do you guys remember the movie Let the Right One In? Which they did an American remake of it. I have not seen it. It is simply called Let Me In. Kind of feels like it's not a great title for that movie. So I'm going to leave this area, and we're going to have to see if Dinky D starts reacting to any other part of the map, because he really wants me to go in there, and there's no way to do so. Look at him. He's hanging out the back of the chassis. He says, no, you're going the wrong way. Oh, and I am going the wrong way. Sorry, I started heading towards the green dot. Jab said that he hasn't seen it, but he's sort of familiar with it. So I want to say that Let the Right One In was like a Swiss or Dutch or I don't remember, but it was here in the United States. It was a foreign language movie, and so we were reliant on subtitles in order to see it. And I remember that when the movie first came out in the United States, it had like infamously slapdash subtitles, subtitles that were universally agreed upon, like actively obscured your ability to understand what was happening in the thing and then in the movie. And people who were fluent in the language said, like, it's not even a vague attempt to capture the spirit or tone or voice of this dialogue. And so we here actually avoided seeing it until there was a re-release done that had the corrected subtitles. And I'm trying to remember, like, we might have watched like a fan-made, like a fan translation of it where they added the subtitles that was well received, but I think that we actually waited for the full version. Dinky D is still hanging out the back, by the way. He's still very disappointed that I didn't take him into the ruins. Okay, nothing here. So let's head... Well, let's go directly here. We're gonna sort of like skirt the edge of the world here, the edge of this territory. Mio says even a great U.S. remake. Yeah, I can't say anything about the U.S. remake. I don't like the title "Let Me In" as much as I like the title "Let the Right One In," and I feel like people who see the movie might, or at least are familiar with it, might understand why that is. However, just, you know, judge a book by its cover. You shouldn't judge a movie by its title. Again, The Boys is not a particularly evocative or descriptive title for what that Amazon show is, and I love the Amazon show. So if the American remake is good, I would be all about seeing it. Okay, I didn't come here with the need for scrap, but what we'll do is clear this up and then be on our mine hunting way. Oh, I heard him coming. I thought I could get it. Even if I didn't get it, I figured, oh, not a big deal. What I'll do is just counter when he comes up, and it didn't happen. I am not feeling comfortable with the fact that I don't know how to get to the one spot where the dog barked. Alright, here at this next site, I already got 9 out of 10 of the scrap, so I'm not actually going to get out of the car and look for more. But yeah, let's do a semi-straight line towards this. Hello to Borlak! Borlak, we were just talking about it. I'm curious if you have seen Let the Right One In, or its English language remake, I think American remake, Let the Right One In. And also, while you're thinking about if you've seen that, or Lady B has, there is going to be a watch party over on Mia's Discord just a little bit later today. I think probably starting in about 45 minutes. Oh, you know what? I should probably wrap up in the next 15 minutes because we're going to want to do lunch before then. I'm getting the affirmative nod. Okay, so I'm going to work my way back up towards Pink Eye here, but I don't know where this minefield is. Mio says, The Boys is also a great comic/graphic novel as well. I love how the name is a misogynistic play. I am not a comic book or graphic novel aficionado, and it is a limitation on my part that I get distracted by the art and I can't stop reading ahead, and I'm not a big fan. I don't know. It goes into a few different complicated things. But one thing that I do like is that I've heard that there are sufficient differences between the Amazon version of The Boys and the comic book version of The Boys that they can each be enjoyed very thoroughly for what they are. I am also looking forward to some more episodes of Invincible. Not tragically, but animated series have a very, very long production time. Like you can do all your writing and all your voice work, well, I guess most of your voice work, and then find yourself needing to wait 6 months or more for like all of the animation work to happen. Okay, well, on the plus side, Dinky D isn't freaking out next to this rubble anymore. So either he's broken, or it's not as much here as we were worried about, which is good, because it doesn't make sense for that to be a minefield. Borlak has never seen it, but it got too far out there for me. Oh, wait, sorry, I got 2 things. Jab was saying, I was reading The Boys, but it got too far out there for me and I quit. And then Borlak said, I've never seen it, and it looks like it's a foreign language movie, so meh. Yeah, well, that was the topic of conversation, the fact that it's a, that the subtitles in the original release, like, it's frustrating that in order to recommend Let the Right One In to somebody, you also have to be like, hey, and by the way, like, you have to research which version you're gonna watch because there's a version with bad Bad subtitling. The only movie that bothered me with its subtitles that I was like, man, I don't want to be reading subtitles through this was, I think, is it Guillermo del Toro and his movie Pan's Labyrinth, I think it was. And here's the reason that the subtitles bothered me, because I wanted to look at the movie. Like, I don't mind reading subtitles. I'm a pretty quick reader. I can like go through them and like they don't distract me from the movie. And indeed, in the television series Lost, there were lots of sections of dialogue between a couple of the characters that was all subtitled, and in my memory afterwards, I would not be able to like remember which scenes had been subtitled versus but it doesn't matter to me unless there's other things happening in the movie or in the show that like I want to look at, and I can't look at them because I'm looking at the subtitles to read those. And that's what was happening in Pan's Labyrinth. It made me desperately want to be able to speak Spanish fluently, that I didn't need the subtitles, so that I could hear the movie and look at it in the way that I felt like it deserved. Okay, let me see if I can ditch this guy real quick. Oh, nice. We got a little achievement for that. So, I have absolutely no idea where the minefield is. I don't know that we went here specifically. We might have gone past here. I'm just gonna go see if I can maybe check this area. If you guys see any fields of like crashed out or bombed out cars, but no, if we were close enough to see it, then Dinky D would just speak up. Mio says, I'm not a big comic book person. I usually check them out after hearing about the show. Did the same with The Walking Dead. Borlak says, I really don't like dubbing on films. It annoys me. And if I wanted to read a story, I'd read a book. Yeah, I'm, oh, we're already here. Yeah. Okay, so I haven't done maybe the direct interior.
Sent.
Oh,
Lead on.
now we've got it. Wow. Just happened to randomly be heading in the right direction. Yeah, I will say that in general, I would very much prefer like subtitles over a dub, with the one possible exception if the dub is done by the original actors because they are fluent in both languages. Then, like, I'll get over whatever... Shit! Okay, well that's fine, because this is our second to last minefield, and we're right next to the place. I just don't want to run into the next one, because I have a feeling that if Dinky D dies, it's game over. And then Jab was saying the first season of Invincible covered about 24 issues of the comic, or 2 years of the comic. And it probably, like, glossed over a whole bunch of it, too. But here's the thing about comic books. I love comic books as a storytelling medium because a comic book will run for 2 years or 5 years or 15 years or son of a bitch. I'm so sorry. I just did the same thing again. A comic book will run for it. I see the vehicle. I press the get into vehicle button. That's what happens there. Or like if it's Batman, like 90 years or whatever Batman has been kicking around. When did he start? Like the 40s or something like that? That's where you first get into Batman. So at the end of all of that time, where you have writers curating this character and sort of deciding as it goes over a very long period in time what will or will not be qualified as canon. Can I fast travel to the balloon? Yes, I can. What you wind up with is... Oh, boo. Hold on a second. It swapped out my buggy. All I'm saying is that as comic books run, they churn out a lot of story that then other mediums can pick up and sort of distill into the best parts. And I feel like that's what we've seen with the Marvel Universe and maybe with Invincible as well. Oh, and we've actually already got it listed right here. So we're going to do this minefield, and then I'll probably be calling it quits because A, we wanted to get some lunch before what I believe to be the watch party gets started, and B, we've hit in literally the last 3 minutes, the sun has moved into that position where it is now like blasting in the window behind the monitor, and I can do this for a very short amount of time and then get an abysmal migraine. I am so sorry that I did not stay on the road. Oh, God. Jab says, oh, wait. Borlak says, I read somewhere years ago that Arnie, wanted to do his own lines in German versions of American films, and he was turned down because to other Germans, he sounds like a farmer. I'm not making forward progress anymore. Guys, I'm just going to get back on the road. Trying to navigate this trash pile is not worth it. Oh my goodness. I think I've heard that as well, that Arnold Schwarzenegger has like the particulars of his accent has like, he doesn't sound like a big tough guy to Germans or Austrians. His particular dialect is more rustic, I guess we'll say. And that may or may not be correct. I've heard the same things. Either way, I feel like they could probably just do with getting over it, because Arnold Schwarzenegger, I don't know, seems like a great big guy. So I'm not sure that his particular accent is gonna play to that. But what do I know? You know, I kind of doubt that the biggest disappointment in Arnold Schwarzenegger's life has been whether or not he gets to do his own lines in those movies. I don't know. Maybe he cares a lot about it. And then Jab says it depends on how much attention I'm planning on giving the show. Subtitles are very attention demanding. I will say that. That's why we went with the English language version of Judgment, and why we will be going with the English language for Lost Judgment as well. We actually did, I've talked about this in the past, we did a full episode 1 of Judgment, and what we realized very quickly is that for the amount of story that game was going to have, it was not realistic to expect the I know he's there, I just want one more mine. It was not realistic to expect the audience of Twitch viewers to have their eyes glued to the screen to read the subtitles. Okay, whatever. Okay, can I just fast travel out of here? Fast travel? No? Nope, you can't fast travel. Okay, not during a storm. Alright, let's get anywhere. Let's go to Deep Fryers. I never want to hang out with that guy, but I am headed the wrong direction. But yeah, like I will say that, like when we sit down to watch a movie, we're watching the movie. So what happens now? does this car stabilize? Does Dinky D pick up a wrench in his mouth and then fix it up? Or am I just... Uh-oh. Hold on. This is gonna be bad. Get out of here! Oh, I think the car vaporized. You guys, I think the car is gone. Hey guys, I need a ride. I need to disable these cars without destroying them. Or... Oh god! Okay, I have very few lives. No, get in the car. Steal it. Okay, dude, whatever. Just go. Go in any direction. But preferably in one that has a road. Now, I do actually see that my car is still marked on the map. But, I don't know. This car has less fire. Sorry, just to finish out the thought. Watching a movie is one thing. Like, we sit down, we give it our full attention. I don't mind subtitles there at all. For a game, if I'm playing the game, I'm sitting down, I'm giving it my full attention. And there are games where even if it's English language, we'll keep the subtitles on. We're playing an example of that right now because there's certain characters where the accent is tougher to discern. However, for viewers, like, we're an English language stream. We just are. So yeah, it's not a collectible vehicle, but no, that's fine. I didn't need to collect it. I am going to drink a lot of water.
Only the wildfire will walk the bright path of the righteous.
And then what we're going to do is, at worst, fast travel here, which is going to refill our water. And then if I have to drink some more, I will just drink some more. But I think it'll also refill his lives. Oh! No, it did neither. It didn't give me water or lives. That's fine. You know, we'll be okay with it. So, we're going to come over here and do an autosave. And I'm going to quit before I get one of those infamous ocular migraines that will actually prevent me from being able to see anything at all for at least an hour. Because I want to join Mia's watch party, which is in about half an hour. Jeb always runs subtitles in games. Interesting. Yeah, I've talked about it a little bit here. I think the general rule is that if people in chat, like more than just one person, but like if people generally wanted subtitles on in a game, I'd be perfectly cool with turning them on. But I usually play with subtitles off exclusively because they can disrupt the pacing of a scene unintentionally, and they can I tend to read ahead. Not even like consciously, not purposely. I'll just like see ahead how the line is going to go, and it takes a lot of the spontaneity out of the line delivery. So as a matter of personal preference, I'll keep it off. But again, when we were doing, oh gosh, what was that narrative game that we didn't finish? Remember the name of that one? The French one? No. That was you're thinking of The Order. You know what? I have to call up the channel anyway. You guys, give me 1 second. We're going to go into our own archives here and figure it out. So, oh, I don't bring this up nearly enough. If you ever miss an episode, or if you're ever curious, like, hey, what else has Angel played? I want to see if he played, like, my favorite game and how he did in it. On our collections tab on Twitch, we have every full playthrough that we've done, and at least a couple incomplete playthroughs. Oh, this is going to take a second to scroll back. So just reading back through, Uncharted: The Lost Legacy, Hellblade, Judgment, the Final Fantasy VII Remake, Plague Tale, Days Gone, Subnautica, Detroit Become Human. Like, we've got a bunch. So if you were ever interested in revisiting one of the older playthroughs, they are up in their entirety and organized into a nice episode collection, so it'll advance easily from one episode to the next. And for most of our time, the council, there we go. That's why we couldn't, it's not the order, it's the council. Yeah, in the council, the metrics on Twitch said, hey, most of your viewers are from France. So we actually checked to see if it was possible to set up to put on French subtitles, because again, I didn't care very much, and if people from France wanted to see the game, that seemed like a solid thing to do, but they didn't allow it. All right, so let's do a raid, and I'll tell you what, I would very, 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 under any other circumstances, we would be raiding either to Tashir Games or to, who is not on, by the way, right now, or to Samalander, who's playing Farming Simulator 19. But on our way out, there is a special charity marathon that's going on in the name of Sunny Panda. Sunny Panda was the creator of our stream team. He was a Twitch partner, and we are speaking of him in the past tense because earlier this year he passed away from a rare disease. It had something to do with his lungs. I don't know all of the details, but members of the stream team have been coming together to raise money for a charity that specializes in treating uncommon diseases. I don't know a whole bunch of the details, but I do know that a good friend of the stream, a member of the stream team, and an overall great streamer, The Real Cutie Pie, is currently in the midst of a 12-hour marathon stream to raise money for that charity. So if the only act that we do is raid over and draw more attention to it and raise it up in the ratings, that already is being helpful. But that said, if you guys wanted to do like a really cool thing this weekend, and throw even a couple dollars towards this charity, I think the links will be up. We have done our donation here. I would never ask people to do things that we wouldn't do ourselves, so it's worthy of consideration. But even if we only raid over and you sort of like lurk, it'll help to raise the profile of the charity stream and maybe bring it to more people's attention. So with those words, we're going to go do a raid over to The Real Cutie Pie, who is playing some Hollow Knight. We're just going to put in this right now. Well, Cara Luna, thank you for hanging out. Hello to Stand Up Shitter, who said, I hope your day is going, all having a good day. Doing really well, and I hope that you are as well. Sorry, we're getting you right at the end. I'm so sorry. But yeah, we've been streaming for a couple hours, and the sun is gonna just really cause an issue for me where it is. So we're gonna hop over there. Jab, Mio was laughing at Less Fire. Jab always runs subtitles in games. Caroluna does often as well. Jab says, for me, it's more of a matter of what did he say. Yeah, Mia likes to do the same. She likes to play with subtitles so that she can just make sure that she catches all the dialogue. And Jab doesn't read them unless I need them, but if I need them, then it's there. Yeah, for me, the best examples of an English language game that I played with subtitles was all of The Witcher 3, because I could understand 70% of the characters, and then every once in a while there'd be a character that I could not understand what this person was saying without the help of subtitles, which isn't really a knock. It's just, if anything, it added to the flavor of the game. But regardless, we're going to jump over to The Real Cutie Pie. You guys, thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you in Discord in a little bit. And until next time, I hope you have a great day.